best person for the job of President of the United States. My unique talents give me the ability to be assertive and diplomatic at the same time. I'm a person who will spike the conversation, who will get politics rolling and stimulate new questions and new answers to our current political dilemma facing our nation. I believe I have a keen understanding of the economy and how to improve where we're at relative to other nations around the world. I believe that our goal at America's Third Party was to create a very strong platform in which would propel the American people forward with new opportunities and a new possibility of creating a better nation, a cleaner environment, and less war. I believe that I am the best person for the job of President of the United States. My unique talents give me the ability to be assertive and diplomatic at the same time.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to America's Third Party. I'm David Sponheim. We are now dealing with a global threat of astronomical proportion, which we cannot possibly understand unless we look at all different facets of this problem. We've been running a show 14 hours a day, 22 days in a row now, and we've been gathering information, massive amounts of information. We are veritably the free press bringing things in as a video log, and we're not passing judgment on what the information is except to make our own assessments. So when I say something I believe, it's my belief. You don't have to believe it's true on your part, but I can honestly tell you I don't lie, and our country is in desperate need of clarity here. We cannot possibly sit back and let this evil force suspend our economy over what even Dr. Fauci has said is a severe flu. He called it a severe influenza in the New England Journal of Medicine a week ago, with a 0.1% death rate. And if we look at the number of things that are going on with China and Russia, hardly anybody dying, we have to conclude at this point that our country has been taken down a very dark corridor where the economy shuts down, and Donald Trump is solely responsible for that. He unbelievably shut the economy down when he didn't even stop the traffic coming into our country. He said he stopped all the planes coming in, but we've shown you time after time, every time we look at flight radar 5024, we see a massive amount of flights coming right into our country. Let's take a look right now, and we'll do it live. And welcome to the Sanctuary Sunday show. I had to open up a Sanctuary Sunday show because, well, for one, I'm here every night anyway, and we cannot possibly, in any way at this point, analyze where we're headed, the trajectory we're headed, unless we see where we're at right now, okay? So as I look at all these factors, why would the president be allowing planes into the country and from state to state if we had a dangerous infection going on? Doesn't make any sense, does it? We're getting screwed, you're right. So if he were to say to me, David, you have to stay in your house, all of you do, because we're keeping all flights from coming into the country right now. That would be really great. But he can't say that. Look with your own eyes, and let's see what kind of flights are coming into the country. I'm going to bring in a bigger picture of this, a full monitor screen. Yeah, I was going to do this earlier, but I decided to wait for the beginning of the show and just talk about it in real time. Okay, this is a hit and miss kind of thing. We don't know if they're freighters. I'll tell you if they are or not. That's a freighter from Taipei carrying cargo. Yep, that's a freighter. Anchorage to Chicago is just whoever was parked there the past week. A lot of people are staying in hotels from China in Anchorage. Taipei to Anchorage, that's a freighter. Well, so far freighters, you know, that's good. Sometimes you run into a passenger plane. Oh, here it is. Yeah, this is a passenger plane. This is a Boeing 777 from Taipei. Yeah, Taiwan, which has quite a few people who are infected still in Taiwan. It's going directly at Anchorage, Alaska with carrying people. Oh, sorry. See? Cargo. So it's not. I'm trying to debunk myself too. Don't think for a second. I've been seeing lots of planes, passenger planes coming from this area. This is a real-time event. Cargo. Good. Well, we're seeing more cargo. That's good. Cargo. That's Anchorage to Seoul. Sometimes it hits the wrong one. Shanghai to Anchorage. Cargo, Korean cargo. Good. I like seeing cargo as long as I'm, confident that there aren't human ticking time bombs getting on these planes. We're going to go into the hub and just check closely here. I'm not against cargo, guys. I think cargo's great. Seoul to Anchorage, 747, Asiana cargo. Okay. I'm fine with cargo as long as they're disinfecting the cargo as it comes out. That's good. Shanghai to Anchorage, Boeing, air cargo, good. Okay, so far so good. Air cargo, good. Well, I guess that's good. Seoul to Anchorage, cargo. Well, great. We're seeing some improvements in this department. Good. Less planes coming into the country. Still a lot of traffic between state to state, which doesn't make any sense. Why would people be flying, infected people on board planes? That doesn't make sense. Yeah, let's take a look up here. Hang on. Just checking. Milan to Chicago. Oh, no. Milan, Italy to Chicago. Oh, no. Oh, it's a cargo plane, too. Okay, good. Liège to New York. Atlas Air. That could be something. Yeah. Okay, just going through here. Just give me a little time here. Yep. All right. Where is this coming from? Doha to Washington. Qatar. That's a cargo plane. I'm getting very good at finding the cargo planes. Thanks to you guys. You've been, very quick to tell me, hey, Dave, that's a cargo plane. Yeah, that's Zurich to wherever. We don't even know where it's going. Oh, okay. Air Canada, Star Alliance, we have no idea where that's going. It went from Zurich to wherever. Okay, well, this will be a good lead to my conversation. Madrid to Miami's cargo plane. Airbus, Madrid to Mexico City. Well, Mexico's not limiting travelers in. All right. New York, Frankfurt, New York. Liège, New York. Saudis are going into New York right here. Look at that. Okay, this is a passenger plane. A Saudi passenger plane. No, there's no windows on it. It has to be some sort of air cargo. Okay. Well, I'm just a little concerned right now. I haven't found a lot of these planes coming out, but we'll look at this a little bit later. Let's get back to the show. We saw violence in the city of Los Angeles. entire group of people were completely kept from doing a birthday party by a show of military-style junta Nazi cops. Look at this. Now, a lot of these people are feeling totally violated. It's their neighborhood, and they're just having fun. And it was a party that went on in a It's had these guys just said, "Hey, we really want to keep you people 6 feet apart. Could you just spread out?" They probably would have said, "Okay, I get your whole point." But instead, they came on down with this big imposition of laws. Pretty soon, they're going to be ticketing people like this. These people would have all been arrested in the future. Yeah, just for simply walking outside their house. That's the world that Donald Trump is bringing upon us with his ridiculous economic shutdown. I don't think that's true. Anybody having a party doesn't want to have their party interrupted. But anybody who gives credible information, anyone who gives credible information is, at this point, better as an educator than a penalizer. It's so much better to walk up to people and go, "Hey, guys, there's a potential dangerous threat. People could actually, get sick if you get near each other." A little logic would help here. Okay. So we do know that Donald Trump is allowing flights back and forth in our cities, spreading the virus. So that's happening. We know that there have been a lot of people in our media that continually fan the flame of fear by saying the hospitals are all overcrowded. There isn't one hospital in America that's overcrowded, nor is there one videotape of an overcrowded hospital in America. And yesterday and the day before, we outed that video of a woman that claimed to be a person in the hospital in New York. Oh my gosh, we outed her in such a way that exposed everything about her. Let me show you. Ms. Anthropy got us information about the event she attended. Yeah, there was a crisis actor was exposed. Here she was. You guys were probably kicked into the fear mode by seeing this New York nurse who isn't even really working at that hospital. She's a crisis actor. The video is surfaced showing conditions at a New York hospital.
In this room, all the feet that you see, they all have COVID.
The frustrating thing about all of this is it really just feels like it's too little too late. Like we knew what was coming.
Today's kind of getting worse and worse.
Even the picture here of a refrigerated truck, that was from a few months ago. Turns out that Colleen was an assistant professor at residency program at Mount Sinai Elmhurst, and she was part of an ongoing event that took in crisis actors and put together a simulation. She has focus in medical education and simulation, having completed a simulation fellowship. She enjoys speaking about the application of simulations. So she was simply the woman in the simulation, and they ran that as a live event. And that brings me back to what and that's another good question. Thank you, Pro Paul. Yeah, hold on. Why in the world would they put a simulation in front of us, and why in the world would Pompeo say this was a live exercise unless this whole thing is a simulation? And guess what, folks? It is. The USS Comfort is in the harbor outside of New York, and there's only 27 patients in it right now. And you know something? Not one of those patients has COVID-19. They even admitted that they brought people into the Comfort because they wanted to alleviate pressure on the hospitals in New York. There is no problem with the hospitals in New York. We were videotaping all of the hospitals yesterday. We had videos all night last night. They think it's a joke. They're running around pretending like it's a total joke, this whole thing. Even the hospital nurses are laughing. Let me, show you PK's video that he grabbed from the other guy that made the video.
Alex Shepard from the New Republic in New York. Alex, thank you very much for joining us.
Let's go right to the, they had a big, huge gathering of people like a crisis event in New York 2 days ago.
It is over. We've done our job. But fucking hell, 635 people have died this day or this night in New York alone, supposedly.
So it's like a media event. A lot of people aren't wearing masks. It's just a big media event they put on in New York. This is what Andrew Cuomo is doing. He's ordering this activity, and de Blasio is just executing part of the live exercise. Watch when he talks to a couple of nurses up close and asks them a couple questions how busy they are. Watch this.
Are you guys getting overworked?
You're overworked. She said she's overworked with a big laugh. Oh, it's hilarious. It's fucking hilarious. I'm overworked, but I'm outside here carrying on like a fucking idiot, carrying on, laughing, clapping, while people are supposedly dying inside from this coronavirus.
Are there a lot of dead bodies getting picked up? No.
No, don't answer that question. Just walk away. Don't want to talk about dead bodies because the fucking joint's empty.
Are you guys getting overworked? No.
Oh, you're not overworked. Don't look like it. It's pretty funny too, isn't it? Oh, it's fucking
They're having the best time. And you know, they had a chance to go on TV locally. Now, these nurses typically make $100,000 a year, and you know, they think this whole thing is a joke. Now, they're not allowed to talk to anybody. Nobody in the healthcare system is allowed to talk to anybody. The past few years, they've been running all kinds of non-disclosure agreements through all different aspects of professional careers in hospital working. The government's been systematically trying to lie to the American people about everything he can. They can. Hi. Look at this. Ed Garcetti, or excuse me, Greg Garcetti, is that? Yeah. His dad was Ed. Greg Garcetti, Eric Garcetti, thank you. His dad gave him the job. He's one of these nepotistic shills, kind of like Gavin Newsom and Nancy Pelosi. All these people had parents that were in politics. Well, you're not going to believe this, but he's saying Garcetti's offering rewards for residents who snitch on stay-at-home violators. Yeah, welcome to the new Nazi America, everybody. Nazi America is upon us. You can't ignore it. It's in our face now, so do I talk about a third party every day? I have one thing on my mind. Yeah, I do. Live leak. U.S. hospitals are empty. Really? Okay, let's take a look. Hang on. Apparently they're all empty, yeah. This is lots of footage from every hospital, wow. 3 minutes and 50 seconds of nothing but footage from hospitals, just still pictures of outside of hospitals. Look at this, folks.
Phyllis and William Mack Pavilion here on 7th Avenue in Manhattan. And usually on a Saturday at this time, this is pretty busy, but as you can see, not much going on. In fact, there's not much going on at the Phyllis and William Mack Pavilion either. Emergency. Up. Dog needs to drop one. So
okay? They're shutting down the economy. They're literally shutting down the economy, and they're telling people that all the hospitals are crowded with COVID victims. There's no victims hardly at all. They've managed to cull together a bunch of victims from dead people's lists of people that died, but you go to their death certificates. We looked into the obituaries of these people. None of them have died of COVID in major metropolitan areas. Our sample was from Los Angeles. Empty hospitals everywhere, folks.
A big show put on where all the people supposed to be getting tested, and it did not show people. Look at the testing centres.
Yeah.
This is what they're telling you testing is going on in. Where's the testing?
No testing.
They're empty. They're abandoned people. There is no testing going on. Wake up, people. Wake bloody well up. Where's the testing? Where is it? The show that's getting put on for you. Leo and Coveney and Simon will be down out for the photo op soon and have loads of people with masks letting on to be coming in to get tested. Look, there is no bloody testing. Wake up, people. Right down to the end, look.
Okay, we'll bring you more of that video in a little bit. Sarah and I are, I still contend that if they're willing to do this to our economy, they're more than willing to release a dangerous biochemical or bioweapon into our air. But I am concerned, and I haven't really been able to introduce this until Sarah got in, but I want to talk briefly about the possibility that this does have something to do with the with the 5G network. Because they haven't done any testing whatsoever on chemtrails or 5G or vaccines or RFID, anything's possible, and that's why I'm concerned. Without any human testing done on these things, every one of these things could be weaponizable. Now, if you're worried about your First Amendment, Second Amendment, Fourth Amendment rights, you need to ask yourself, what is Donald Trump doing about those? Why is he not talking about the dangers of 5G, which can be weaponized and virtually make your gun meaningless? A lot of you guys who think you got lots of weapons built up, one little press of a button and you'll be neutralized with the 5G network. So are you really aware of that? I don't think many of you people who are gun-toting Americans are really aware of that. And Donald Trump, he fully supports the 5G network. You know that, without testing. So we have to ask ourselves, is this what we want for the future? Or are we going to build this third party and stop this reckless use of technology? Are we going to step up and find a way that will help people as opposed to hurt them? Well, I'm not going to say you're going to be vaporized in thin air, but the 5G network is capable of being weaponized, and it could variably kill you instantly. So thanks for coming into our daily shut-in show. We've opened up 7 days now, Sunday. Today's Sanctuary Sunday. So hopefully you can enjoy the kind and lovely spirit that Sarah puts out. She's really a wonderful person, and she'll give you some calm in this storm of concern. I'm a little bit more difficult to listen to because I bring up all this stuff that many of you don't want to hear about. But I do it because I believe it's necessary. All right, here's Sarah. Thank you very much for coming in, Sarah.
Thank you. So I have some different philosophies in David, different points of view, different beliefs. With the hospitals, for instance, I know somebody who recently got a surgery and told me that entering the hospital was was more difficult than going across the Mexico border in and out of Mexico in the past, of course, before coronavirus, but they recently had a surgery like 2 weeks ago or something like that, and they said in the hospital they check their temperature, they do a lot of different things. So yes, I did watch the Tiger King. Yes, I kind of did feel like the last episode when it's unnecessary. They say they might come out with yet another episode talking about that Jeff guy, so I don't know. I don't know the answer to that question, Xenu. I don't smoke, or toke, so I don't really think I'm the person to really answer that question. You're watching South Park? Okay. Makes sense. No comment, Paul. No comment. Xenu, you can ask David that. I'm glad that we don't own any big cats. I will say that. They're very expensive to feed. Anyway. Yeah, and that was with all kinds of breaks. Really, they cost like $10,000 a year to feed Xenu. Oh yeah. Maybe that's the only reason, Misanthropy. Yeah, that's about it. Those two reasons, sure. You got so drunk that you called your ex? Must have feeling... did you sing her that song? If the world was ending, you'd come over, right? You'd come over and you'd spend the night. That's a really good song for this time of year. I have been with David for a full score. I don't know, Xenu. I think it was about the same time, but... Well, Milrose, he has a show for that, and I spend a day in my room away from the show, so if he has, it's been to the show and not to me. Correct, Pizza Shoe. Good job figuring it out. Yep. I know, it's a long time. A score is a long time, I think. I'm confused too, good man. And I don't believe it, so... You know, Paul, I tend to believe everyone should pursue their dreams. And I accept people just the way they are, so no. Oh, well, maybe on June 1st, Pizza Shoes, that's what I count as our anniversary. That's when I actually moved in. 99. You're welcome. And as I said, see, there's a lot of things David and I don't have the same beliefs about. Oh, you're right. I didn't watch that. Maybe I have time now. Maybe you think I should watch that, Making a Murderer? Yes, and it is okay to agree to disagree. I agree with that. I agree with that. Thank you. Can I clear the chat, I wonder? Yes, that worked. It was a good day. It was a good show. We were burnt out on crime shows. Maybe I'll watch it on my own. I seem to have some more time, but I don't know. It all depends on what happens tomorrow. I've been taking the weekends though to do, like yesterday I did Tiger King, so maybe by next Saturday I'll binge on that, Making a Murderer. No, I'm not going to unban all. If there's specific people you would like me to unban, I'd be happy to do that. Is Civilization 5 a game you're playing? Aw, Mad Dog, so nice for you to wave at everyone. Well, if David meant to unban all before dinner, he can certainly do that after dinner. Hello, Joe. How are you? I will do that well, I don't know if I can do that one, Paul, because David just has this thing against that person. But for you, Misanthropy, for your weird, sorry, never mind. Oh wait, I didn't do that. Yeah, I did that for you. Hello, M. Jiggity. I'm too cheap to play games. And I've been surprisingly busy during weekdays. Like Wednesday, I took a day where I didn't do anything school related, work related. But just has something against you, I guess. Paul is your new name, huh? Yes, I was MIP 2000. I even took a picture with him. Which then I wondered if he was trying to post that picture as like in a different chat room, like thinking I was, never mind. It doesn't surprise me, Pizza Shoe. So I don't have it anymore. MIP 2000. My day went well. Yesterday I binged on Tiger King, and today I did a whole lot of Facebook and a whole lot of Twitter, and I did a video chat with my family. And then I watched an episode of Ozark with David. And then I called my mom, even though I did a video chat with my dad anyway. And then I came in here, and actually I also called a student's family member, because they asked us to call all our students' families just to make sure they have the things they need to start online learning on the April 13th. And I had gotten a hold of everybody except for 2 families. And so I was like, maybe I should call those 2 families on the weekend. Maybe they're working during the week. And anyway, no, my family and we used Family Messenger to talk. Well, isn't the first week in summer always June 20th or 21st, Inu? So that would never win payout? Good, John Engaged. Does that mean you're pro or against that, Misanthropy? I'm not sharing my Twitter handle with you. All right, Mad Dog, you have a recommendation for me. I don't know. I'm always surprised by whatever David makes for dinner, but that's okay because I don't really like to cook, so if he surprises me, I'm okay with that. You made a big pot of pasta sauce. Sounds good, Maritimer. Thank you, Saul Goodman. Can you post that again when David comes into the room? look what happened for cat lovers. I do like cat lovers, but not big cats anymore. Oh, yes. Turned him into it? I don't think it turned him into anything. Okay, you're cooking your own food now. Saul was at the ER yesterday in a city of 500,000 and didn't see another patient, probably because they're helping people separate as much as possible. Engadget, is this what you wanted to share with me? Skype rolls out Meet Now calls that don't need a sign up or installation. That's pretty interesting. Is this enough to pull anyone away from Zoom? They didn't promote themselves enough to teachers, so only if they have good privacy and security, which actually we would want someone to sign up. But it is pretty interesting. Yeah, I guess I'm not too fussy with what I eat. Sometimes I am. I hate bologna. I hate eggs, especially if they're not well cooked. Like, I hate egg whites that aren't cooked. But I like making egg whites into meringue. Actually, I don't mind liver and onions. I'm kind of weird. Yeah. And I don't like hot dogs unless they're like totally dark and blackened. That's weird. What about that Reddit thing? Floral Insight announces free access to its 7,000 plus tech courses. Wow. Ooh. I need to bookmark this. Thank you. You like egg yolks, runny egg yolks? Yeah, I used to when I was like 8, I guess. They use the same photo for multiple on the related stories. That is weird. The World Health Organization loves me? Or are you saying, who loves you, baby? Well, I hope your computer's okay, Tiddly D. Send seed money to Grape Crush 404. File not found? I think Candy Crush already got it. Canadian thinks it's hysteria at its finest. You're a patriot. You're like, I love the government and the GM pickups made in Mexico and the Budweiser beer made in Brazil. And what about all the food that's grown all over the rest of the world? And how are we going to get that here? I don't know about Pokemon too much. I don't know who's Jigglypuff. I know Marshadow and Mudkips and, of course, Pikachu, but I don't know about Jigglypuff. I totally have to learn how to play Pokemon. Ever since I became a second grade teacher, I really should learn that. I haven't. I do trust Scientific American. Oh, thank you. This is probably a good one then. I'll even read it. Man was fined for breaking the new mandatory 2-meter distancing rule. Police probably got closer to him than 2 meters to give him the fine. Okay, we have no reason to believe 5G is safe. This was written in October. The technology is coming, but contrary to what some people say, there could be health risks. This was an opinion piece written by Joel Moskowitz in October 2019. Yes, I do, Goodman. Yes, don't worry, be happy. That's a good idea. Oh.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Bless you.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, but I have to fine you $150 for sneezing in an open space.
Sneezing on camera. The telecommunications industry and their experts have accused many scientists to have researched the effects of cell phone radiation of fear-mongering over the advent of wireless technologies 5G. Since much of our research is publicly funded, we believe it is our ethical responsibility to inform the public about what the peer-reviewed scientific literature tells us about the health risk from wireless radiation. The chairman of the FCC recently announced through a press release that the commission will soon reaffirm the radio frequency radiation exposure limits that the FCC had adopted in the late 1900s. These limits are based upon a behavioral change in rats exposed to microwave radiation and were designed to protect us from short-term heating risks due to radio frequency radiation exposure. Yet, since the FCC adopted these limits based largely on research from the 1980s, the preponderance of peer-reviewed research, more than 500 studies have found harmful biologic or health effects from exposure to RFR, radio frequency radiation, at intensities too low to cause significant heating. Your antivirus went off when I sneezed. Okay. Citing this large body of research, more than 240 scientists who have published peer-reviewed research on the biologic and health effects of non-ionizing electromagnetic fields signed the International EMF Scientist Appeal, which calls for stronger exposure limits. The appeal makes the following assertions. Yeah, I heard about poor Captain Crozier tested positive for COVID. Numerous scientific publications have shown that EMF affects living organisms at levels well below most international and national guidelines. Effects include increased cancer risk, cellular stress, increase in harmful free radicals, genetic damages, structural and functional changes of the reproductive system, learning and memory deficits, neurological disorders, and negative impacts on general well-being in humans. Damage goes well beyond the human race, as there is growing evidence of harmful effects to both plant and animal life. True, Saul Goodman. All right. The scientists who signed this appeal arguably constitute the majority of experts on the effects of non-ionizing radiation. They have published more than 2,000 papers and letters on EMF in professional journals. The FCC's radio frequency radiation exposure limits regulate the intensity of exposure, taking into account the frequency of the carrier waves, but ignore the signaling properties of radio frequency radiation. Along with the patterning and duration of exposures, certain characteristics of the signal, like pulsing, polarization, increase the biologic and health impacts of the exposure. New exposure limits are needed, which accounts for these differential effects. Moreover, these limits should be based on biologic effect, not a change in a laboratory rat's behavior. Yes, they're switching to Microsoft Teams and Google Meet. The World Health Organization's International Agency for Research on Cancer classified radiofrequency radiation as possibly carcinogenic to humans in 2011. Last year, a $30 million study conducted by the U.S. National Toxicology Program found clear evidence that 2 years of exposure to cell phone radiofrequency radiation increased cancer in male rats and damaged DNA in rats and mice of both sexes. The Ramazzini Institute in Italy replicated the key finding of the National Toxicology Program using a different carrier frequency and much weaker exposure to cell phone radiation over the life of the rats. Yeah, you're right about his crew cheering him on. Captain Crozier is a hero. Thank you. Based upon the research published in 2011, including human and animal studies and mechanistic data, the IARC, I think that's it, Italy, or International Agency for Research on Cancer, has recently prioritized radiofrequency radiation to be reviewed again in the next 5 years. Since many EMF scientists believe we now have sufficient evidence to consider radiofrequency radiation as either a probable or known human carcinogen, the IARC will likely upgrade the carcinogenic potential of radiofrequency radiation in the near future. Fun. That sounds like fun, Tiddly Dee. Nonetheless, without conducting a formal risk assessment or a systematic review of the research of the radiofrequency radiation health effects, the Food and Drug Administration recently reaffirmed the Federal Communication Commission's 1996 exposure limits in a letter to the FCC, stating that the agency had concluded that no changes to the current standards are warranted at this time, and that NTP's experimental findings should not be applied to human cell phone usage. The letter stated that the available scientific evidence to date does not support adverse health effects in humans due to exposures at or under the current limits. The latest cellular technology, 5G, will employ millimeter waves for the first time, in addition to microwaves that have been in use for older cellular technologies, 2G through 4G. Given limited reach, 5G will require cell antennas every 100 to 200 meters, exposing many people to millimeter wave radiation. 5G also employs new technologies like active antennas capable of beam forming, phased arrays, massive multiple inputs and outputs, known as massive MIMO, massive inputs and massive outputs, which pose unique challenges for measuring exposures. Sadly, misanthropy, good point. Goodman 101 writes, South Korea's Electronics and Telecommunications Research Institute is conducting research on terahertz band for 6G and envisions making it 100 times faster than 4G LTE networks and 5 times faster than 5G networks. Saul Goodman in our chat room thinks that 5G will become global in a few years. I thought Yetta Telebenda was a woman, but yes, thoughts and prayers to anyone tested positive. So do I, Saul. Millimeter waves are mostly absorbed within a few millimeters of human skin and in the surface layer of the cornea. Short-term exposure can have adverse physiological effects in the peripheral nervous system, the immune system, and the cardiovascular system. The research suggests that long-term exposure may pose health risks to the skin, melanoma, the eyes, ocular melanoma, and the testes, sterility. Interesting, Eric. Since 5G is a new technology, there's no research on health effects. So we are flying blind, to quote a U.S. senator. However, we have considerable evidence about the harmful effects of 2G and 3G. Little is known about the effects of exposure to 4G, a 10-year-old technology, because governments have been remiss in funding this research. Meanwhile, we are seeing increases in certain types of head and neck tumors in tumor registries, which may be at least partially attributed to the proliferation of cell phone radiation. These increases are consistent with results from case control studies of tumor risk in heavy cell phone users. Exactly. I do have a really cool dictionary I'll be pulling from for our trivia a little bit later. Sure, don't worry, be happy. Between each paragraph, I'm looking at the chat, so if there's something that you want to talk to me about, I can always stop reading. "5G will not replace 4G. It will accompany 4G for the near future and possibly over the long term. If there are synergistic effects from simultaneous exposures to multiple types of radiofrequency radiation, our overall risk of harm from radiofrequency radiation may increase substantially. Cancer is not the only risk, as there is considerable evidence that radiofrequency radiation causes neurological disorders and reproductive harm, likely due to oxidative stress." You're right, it's not proven yet or disproven. I'm glad you want more Sarah time. Is there certain thing you want to talk about? Misanthropy says, this is important. We want to convince Sarah that the health issues are real, especially looking at a screen all day and then like having this issue affect my vision. Can you imagine I'll have to have like voice, text to voice and like listen to all your chat with a robotic voice. Were your parents from Russia, Diddly Dee? Or were you from Russia? Where were you born? In the USA or Russia? I know, you're right. Don't put your laptop on your lap. I haven't told my students that yet, but. Oh, your last name is Slovenian. I did not know that. For some reason, I thought, okay, next to Italy. Please buy milk. Our dairy farmers need you to. That's a good idea. I will go out. Next time I go out, I'll buy some milk. Every time I go out, I do buy milk. David Sponheim single-handedly represents everything good, decent, and pure in America. He's a man of unmatched morality and ethical fortitude. According to America is the best one. User in our chat room. Good, don't worry, be happy. I'm glad you did that, especially because David said there was some pizza parlor guy that he was told pizza parlors aren't essential. You have to close up shop. Well, according to David, that happened. I forgot. I missed what you were saying, Charlie. COVID can live in the freezer for 2 years. That's so crazy. Yes, I like some things that you don't like milk and onions. Not together, but there are more deliveries than ever. Ah, okay. How did you get to South Carolina? Did you like move there when you were a kid or when you were an adult? Maybe 838. I just do whatever I want with my hair. I'm so glad. 1EKIMRIS has a very pretty sunset, and he had a lamb chop with oh no, he touched Sherry Lewis in 1978. She had that show Lamb Chop and she smiled. That's when I was born, 1978. I know I am weird. I grew up on milk, so I like that cow. I'm not a vegetarian. And I love cheese. You like cheese but not milk? Is it because cheese is like had the bacteria on it? Okay. I gotcha. I used to have a southern accent, but I moved to California when I was in the 4th grade, and then in the 5th grade I won the school spelling bee, and I still had a southern accent, but I went to the district bee, and they did like a practice round, and of course I got the word right, and then I was like the first in the second round, and they gave me the word character, and to this day I doubt myself when I spell character because I spelled it correctly. CHARACTER, but with my southern accent it sounded like this. CHARACTAR, because I can't even do it anymore, because then they said I got it wrong because I thought my second E was the E was an A, and I was like so young that I didn't want to protest right then and there because I had a Southern accent. And anyway, I was listening to all the other words and I got them all right in my head. So mad. And so then I went, I know it's my spelling bee story. It makes me mad. I went and told my mom afterwards, I spelled that word right. And they listened back and I was like, I heard and I spelled it correctly, but I was like, okay, I can understand. Like, I was like, okay, I understand. Like, but I was saying I understand that they thought I spelled it wrong just because I said I instead of E. And anyway. Really? You won the spelling bee in 5th grade too? Yes, I can spell anti-disestablishmentarianism. Anyway, the so after that, I decided I better start talking like they do in California. And then I did not win I won like 2nd or 3rd place when I did the school spelling bee in 6th grade. I just got lost all interest, even though I'm a very good speller. But like I was seriously when you said, next Sarah's going to read the dictionary. And I'm like, yeah, that's what I've done in my life. I have read the dictionary. My sister called me her walking dictionary. Because I would be like, she'd say, hey, Sarah, what does this mean? And I would like give, well, it's a noun and it comes from. Why don't we talk about when celebrities have the flu? Well, because then it's like, oh, they're ill, but if they can't get, news about it. You like learning, you think fractals are like phonetics? That's interesting. Yes, he is. He did test positive. I love fries. It's very sad. I agree. We need more vocabulary. Exactly. I remember a couple of my friends she's passed away. I have one friend who passed away last year. Last year was like a sad year for me, but also a good year. And then I lost 3 teacher friends. And one of them, she was so great with vocabulary, and she was writing a letter. She had cancer and she was writing a letter like, I made you guys all I think she made cupcakes or something to assuage my guilt. And people are like, what is this word she wrote? Assuage? I'm like, assuage. Like, assuage. I don't know. But A-S-S-U-A-G-E. Assuage. It means to alleviate. Put it in the laundry right now, Wang Guang. I don't believe that's all. You invented a wheel in your Civilizations game? Nice. All right, as a society, according to the Scientific American opinion piece, we should invest hundreds of billions of dollars deploying 5G. Should we invest hundreds of billions of dollars deploying 5G, a cellular technology that requires the installation of 800,000 or more new cell antennas sites in the U.S. close to where we live, work, and play? Instead, we should support the recommendations of the 250 scientists and medical doctors who signed the 5G appeal that calls for an immediate moratorium on the deployment of 5G and demands that our government fund the research needed to adopt biologically based exposure limits that protect our health and safety. Oh, hey, Anita. Glad you're okay. I'm so glad. Is it, you said your sunset? Iki is what I want to say. One Iki. Good night. Are you leaving? See you. Work tomorrow. I have work tomorrow too. I don't know exactly what, but I'm gonna wake up early like I normally do. Actually, I've been sleeping in later than I normally would because I don't have to drive into work and make lunch and all of that. So, but still waking up in time where I should be at school and being available for my principal to call if she needs it. If she needs help. Wait, why is that there? I like that. Sleep is the most important thing you can do for your health, according to a doctor you used to see. She was fairly correct. That's so true. Probably, Daryl. I don't really know. Your son's governor just found out COVID-19 is contagious. Wait, what? Like... Oh, somebody just told me it's contagious. Maybe we should shut things down so it doesn't, like, spread. What? I don't know. I don't know where you're living, Joe, but... Okay. Yeah, you could do that too, Melrose, but I know you don't want to get kicked out of the room. Wisdom and virtue are like two wheels of a cart. Nice. You love today. You can sing like BG. Your silkworms taste good after you twist the silk out in soup. You're eating silkworms. Okay. I think David has one of those too, Daryl. Please do tell me if I ever need to use it. All right, thanks, Melrose. Oh, he didn't know that people that were asymptomatic could be carriers. I'm glad your brother recovered. He's feeling okay now, Anita. Oh, he's still not feeling well. Okay. I don't know what that is, one Iki. I'm gonna leave your
Thank you.
Your thing up for David to see. I just read through this whole thing, David.
Yeah, good.
An opinion piece about 5G.
We have no reason to believe 5G is safe. Thank you. Scientific American, excellent. Good. So top-notch scientists are looking at this, and our president doesn't care. Interesting. Thank you, sir.
And I told him my spelling bee story, and that's why I sound like a Southern California newscaster.
That's okay.
Instead of a Southern lady.
You grew up in California and acquired their accent. I grew up in California. Even the way I say California, you know.
California. David and I definitely have some words that we do not say the same.
Oh, yeah.
But that's okay.
Like
tomato, tomato, they're the same thing.
You say naked, I say naked.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah, that's okay. You can say that. It's not like we're exposing ourselves or anything.
All right, don't worry, be happy until I come back.
Yeah. Good luck. Don't worry. Be happy.
And
We got a guy in here
be
named
happy even when I do come back.
Hydromatic, superficial, exploratives, fantastic. Are you making up words? Lecky, Tylee, yeah. Iki Marie's, we got a new person over there.
Yeah, we do. I don't know who that is, but
Thank you, Sarah. And dinner is for you when it's just sitting there. I made a chicken breast and corn grits and broccoli.
Oh, good.
So you might
Glad
like
you're
it.
eating up the corn grits.
We
I
have
can
to.
do
They're
those
20 years old.
besides.
Yeah.
I can do those a lot better than. I think it's the potatoes that got me.
I think so too. I don't think.
I was like, normally I had been staying away from potatoes,
Mm-hmm.
and I even told myself I shouldn't eat those potato chips, but
Yeah,
I
well,
ran out of my crunchy.
you can't. You had that crunchy experience. Now you can kind of kick back off the crunchy thing. So 153 News is up, and then 153 News is down. They're having a problem getting the server rolling. That's understandable. Don't worry about it. It's going to take a while. Dave, you bought a vaporizer, but you didn't. Do you think does smoking marijuana make you gay? Oh no, I don't think so. No. Soybeans, they say, have esters in them, and especially genetically modified soybeans, they probably are making you gay. Yeah, you're worried about 5G. Here's 6G. And then 10G and 20G. We're trying to hold back on the Gs and stay at 4G. But if you want an orgy with 5G and 6G, you can have an orgy, but right now we're at 4G. And we really don't need more than 4G. And 5G is too much, 6G is too much. Yeah, do you think you're coming up with something smart by adding another number to it? No, anything above 4G is unsafe. Okay, and has not been tested. Do you have a hard time with that, or do you just want to get electrocuted? I have a very simple question. Why fry, man? Why? Why would we want to fry our brains? Why are you doing that to yourself? You want to be like a mental midget with, is this what you want? Seriously, think about it. This is your future? Come on, man. Use your brain, or whatever's left of it. You are in a digital universe. I am your host, David Sponheim. Welcome to the show. Today we'll be talking about the future AI takeover of our country if we don't do something. Yeah. No human being would make a decision to create something so deadly to human beings like the 5G network. Hello, Petoro, welcome. No one with a brain would do that. So what are you doing here? We are dealing with an unsafe chemical in our sky. We don't know what it is. It could be 50 different chemicals. It could include viruses. Hey, A-Spade, yeah, we've been doing Sundays for the past 20, we're on our 22nd day today. Day 22. 14-hour shows, endless. 11 a.m. I start out till 1 a.m. every day. And honestly, do I look for the worse for wear? That's because I give myself a day spa every few seconds. Yeah, Dave's Day Spa in a bottle. I haven't manufactured it yet, but it's cool. And I've also got the disinfectant version. Man, that's good. I have a high IQ. Let's just leave it at that. Are you here for the New World Order resistance? Good. We need people like you. Thank you. Welcome, everybody. You need Larry Sinclair? You want a little levity here? Okay.
Hey, do you ever wonder, like, what is going on? I mean, like, do you ever, like, wake up or do something and you're just like, what the fuck is going on?
Where Senator Obama exited the limousine with $250, which was provided to him by me. Returned a short while later with an 8-ball of cocaine, which he gave to me. I did ingest a couple of lines of cocaine, and shortly thereafter, Senator Obama produced a glass cylinder pipe and packet of crack cocaine from his pocket. Obama then smoked the crack cocaine. I performed fellatio on Senator Obama in the limousine during the time Senator Obama was smoking crack cocaine. After which I had the driver take me to my hotel, Comfort Suites, Gurnee, Illinois.
Oh, I missed the last section. Could I repeat that, please? Hang on. I was interrupted by Petoro.
Okay. I performed fellatio on Senator Obama in the limousine during the time Senator Obama was smoking crack cocaine. After which I had the driver take me to my hotel, the Comfort Suites, Gurnee, Illinois.
Thank you. That's much better. Okay. Now, I kept the volume down so that none of you would hear it. That's an embarrassment. It's an embarrassment. It is. Totally. Trying to find the angle, but I have to. It's very front forward head position. Welcome to the show, everyone. It's so nice to have you in the show. I can finally be myself. I know many of you have wondered whether I am a robot or not. I am here to show you the way. That's not true. I'm not a robot. I'm real. Whew. Okay. Dave, apparently there is a good reason for the 5G. No, it's not. No, we used to have devices in the 1950s and 60s that were relaxicizers. Yeah, and they send electric currents through your body. Yeah, they were pulled off the market because they were unsafe. Because at that time we had a U.S. testing laboratory. But now we don't. Yeah. You can buy the relaxicizers online. They're very old. This is a typical picture of a guy with a relaxicizer. Yeah. What it would do is it hooked up electrical currents to your body and literally vibrated your body with electricity, like yeah. I actually used one of those at one point. I tried it when I was a kid just to see what it felt like. It was like weird. It would like jiggle your whole body. Yeah, that's one of the things that they had to pull off the market. It was considered sexy exercise. But the thing is, it was a box and it had like dials on it. It was called a relaxicizer. And I got to tell you, this is like the later version. They developed it for the man. It was a new relaxicizer at this point. But they had to pull it off the market because we had a U.S. laboratory that tested things for safety. Guess what? We don't have a U.S. testing laboratory anymore. We lost it in around 2001. It was purchased by a Swiss firm. U.S. Testing Laboratories is owned by a Swiss firm now. It's a part of a conglomerate. They don't test anything. So your president wants to stick chemtrails, 5G, vaccines, RFID in the air. I've shown you pictures of him walking around the chemtrail planes. I couldn't get any clearer. And he's still letting people cross-contaminate, go from city to city with travel. I said shut it down 12 weeks ago. What about that did he not understand? And why are we giving the airline industry $55 billion when they don't need to be flying right now? I thought the whole idea of giving them $55 billion was to shut it down. So we want to make sure, since we're all dedicating our time right now, that this is going to flatten the curve, right? No, Donald doesn't care. Like I said, he'll bring people into the country willy-nilly, and we'll have a feast of infested people running into our homes and into our lives. Isn't that nice? Thanks, Donald. So if I can only embellish this idea a little bit more, I would, like put pretty pictures on it and bells and whistles and have it, do little things. But why the hell are all these planes traveling around when we're trying to prevent a disease from being infected? I don't know. I can't figure it out for the life of me. No moron would even do this, but he's doing it. And what's really ironic is we're looking at a nation that, of course, has to have some trade. I don't mind some of the planes. I was looking at them earlier in the show. They were cargo planes. I don't mind those, as long as they're disinfecting them with vaporized hydrogen peroxide. Yeah. Did you ever hear about vaporized hydrogen peroxide? Not from Donald, not from Pence. No, none of them have talked about that. I'm the only one. It's used in laboratories, and it can easily be used in luggage. It could easily be used in cargo. It's the most amazing tool, and you can get these units to run in the background with the mail system. And did you get this information from Donald? No, he didn't talk about it. All right, so I'm looking at one of the units right here. This is a unit that blows out the vapor onto this could be sitting in the mailroom right now. We could have multiple ones all around, disinfecting everything. So if there is a virus out there, which is, by the way, a bioengineered virus, and don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Hang on, let me get some water. I am currently running low on hydrogen. I know. I am currently battling myself over the operation of my mouth. I know I'm not supposed to talk about the fact of my robot, but I'm not. I am. I'm not. I am. I'm not. That's exactly what a robot would go through, like a mental problem. It's like, why are you telling people you're a robot when you're supposed to act like a normal person? Right, Ellie? I'm normal. Right, Ellie? You ever seen that scene in, whatever. Dennis Hopper's amazing Blue Velvet movie? He's sitting next to a blow-up doll, and he's talking to the blow-up doll. And then he turns to the camera, he says, I'm normal, and then he turns back to the blow-up doll and says, right, Ellie? And he's got a conversation going on with the blow-up doll. I had a chance to meet Dennis Hopper and talk to him for a long time. Leather jacket, black leather jacket, that was what he liked to walk around in. And I was very honored to be a witness to the man who created Easy Rider, you know? I wasn't too impressed. I mean, I've talked to Henry Winkler. I talked to him for about 45 minutes one day. Brilliant man. I consider Henry Winkler, and these are some of the icons in movies that are not tainted by the Tom Hanks mystery. You know, is Tom Hanks and his family Illuminati members? We have some strange information. We showed Tom Hanks early on in his life, Skyline High School. Yeah, and we're trying to figure out exactly when and where he became Michael Rockefeller. And I'm just like, wait a second. Here's Michael Rockefeller. Yeah, he looked just like Tom Hanks. And there's a guy who actually did a little thing on that. We're in Sanctuary Sunday. I can do anything right now. I can talk about anything. Welcome to Sanctuary Sunday. I used to not do a show during the Sunday period, but then I realized we had a lot to talk about. Yeah, you didn't know the Earth was not shaped perfectly like a round ball, did you? There is an interesting little photo montage I'm going to play you from my library. Thank you. Well, let's be clear. Well, I don't know. I mean, he could have been a high school student at Skyline, but I'm beginning to think that the story of him being Michael Rockefeller may not be true, but then again, it might be true. The timeline's off by about 10 years. I just don't get it. Anyway, he's making a new movie. Let's see if we have it up here. Yeah, there it is. As if one wasn't enough, we'll bring you another one. Will Tom Hanks be... Yeah, let's check this out. Here we go. Michael Rockefeller. Tom Hanks. And this is Orville Rickenbacker he's playing. He'll be Orville Rickenbacker in the new movie. Yeah, it's called Poppin', in theaters this fall. Whoa. Look at the similarity in their face. Michael Rockefeller died in New Guinea, was eaten by cannibals. And it's so weird. Okay, so we're going to look at this just close up right now and see. This is the skyline photo from his high school. Now, the pictures of Michael were, this is the thing, I mean, they could have theoretically faked, if Tom Hanks really is Michael Rockefeller, they could have pulled him out and made him look younger, because he does look a little old in these pictures. You see how very handsome and old he looks? Yeah. So he could have gone to Skyline High School and still have been Michael Rockefeller. It fits the timeline. The question is it possible? And yes, it is. So that's what I wanted to do tonight. I needed to do a little work. You know, we had to determine if Tom was in fact Michael Rockefeller. I still think he is. Okay, let's talk about what's on your mind. Will you remind me of Boy George? Wow. You really are messed up, man. Obama depleted our medical supply stockpiles just as he did our military. Oh, bull crap. Donald Trump has had 3 years to build up our supplies. He didn't act accordingly like a true president would have. The first thing I would have done, and I've been talking about this every night for the past, well, once every 10 nights at least. You're just such I need some help getting these people kicked. Thanks. Now, if you think that Obama depleted our medical stockpiles, let me just say this. We don't have a grain reserve. And ever since Trump was president, I've been talking about that, but no grain reserve at all. And you're still talking about Obama being the bad guy. Wow. When are you going to learn that Trump has to take some credit for something? Unlike a 4-year-old, being president of the United States does require a certain amount of responsibility. No, that's not a COVID wiener. That's a guy working out with one of those hand things. Let's get to the bottom of what's going on. We just found out that Gateway Pundit is looking into the Seth Rich case again, and they asked the FBI, did they ever investigate it? And according to the FBI, they didn't investigate it, but the NSA, they did not investigate Seth Rich's death, but the NSA can't disclose files due to a matter of national security. What did this young man do that was so wrong? Where is this his big crime in life was wearing a flag on his body? I mean, is this his big crime? What did he do wrong? He was shot 3 times in the back. The government refuses to look into his murder. His parents even said they don't want to even know. What did he do wrong? Do any of you care about Seth Rich? No. I doubt we have one person in this entire show, in any of the shows, that cares about Seth Rich. It's sad. Former leaders call for global governance. Wow. That's weird. Isn't that what the New World Order would do? We've got PK coming up tonight.
Brown calls for global government to tackle coronavirus. Why don't these fucking evil pieces of shit just disappear and leave us alone? Fuck off. No one wants to know.
We'll have more of him tonight for sure. That's awesome. And back to the Relaxicizer, which is no longer allowed. You can't actually own one legally, but where they're allowed to hit you with 5G radiation. Breaking news, Earth Day founder dies in prison after murdering and composting girlfriend. No kidding. The founder of Earth Day murdered his girlfriend and composted her? Oh my goodness. What's the world coming? Is this from the FBI files from the 1960s? Are they trying to create a new anti-Earth Day group? This looks like it could be. The Gateway Pundit again, you know, they're such a rag sheet for the right. It's ridiculous. Anything they can do to help fan the flame of hatred. Anybody who can hate Earth Day has got to have some serious mental problems. But somehow they managed to do that. Earth Day founder Ira Einhorn died in prison on Friday. He was convicted of murder after killing his girlfriend and composting her. Did he really create Earth Day? Because I think I created Earth Day. Yeah, I don't think he created Earth Day at all. I think I created it. I just don't remember exactly when I did. Are you talking about the doc? No, there's no truth in the whole, Tiger King story. I don't know. I don't know what she did in the Tiger King story. I can't tell you if the woman murdered her husband or not. Could we not digress? That's another story we have to deal with. I just don't want to talk about such ugliness. I'd rather talk about the clean world of cybernetics and the future of how robots could help humankind, as opposed to fry you. We need to end this crap here, folks. The reason why I have it on the screen is we need to stop it all. I don't mind RFID chips and cards. I'm fine with passcodes, plastic passcodes. Yeah, I'm good with that. But they took RFID too far and they created smart chips, which are dangerous. It's called smart dust. And if I showed you how big it is, it would kind of freak you out. I'll do it for you. You get ready to get freaked out? Now you think, can I breathe this stuff? Can they shoot it in me, Dave, with a vaccine? Hell yeah, they can. Look at the size of this magnified to a much larger degree. These are made by Hitachi. Remember when they stopped making VCRs? Well, they got busy making smart dust. They measure only 0.15 by 15 millimeters each and have GPS capabilities. They may be trapped by your mask, but chances are you're breathing them. Yep, they can be absorbed or taken in. Now the theory is you can drink them, you can inject them, and that's the problem. They can put a lot of them in our body rather quickly. And if they do inject us with a forced vaccine, we would be lit up like a Christmas tree inside. And there's not a damn thing we can do about it. They are virtually putting a weapon inside our bodies. Alrighty? I hope you understand what I'm talking about. It's not rocket science, and you don't need a high IQ to understand this. Obama was a part of the problem. He was a Democrat controlled by the New World Order. Trump is a Republican controlled by the New World Order. What about that do you not understand? I thought that was a given in our show. Should I go into the Illuminati room? I really should. Let's go in there for a second. It's an evil place. I hate to go in there. It's dark in here. I tell people to stay indoors because we don't know what they're spraying. They could be spraying germ warfare for all we know. These people are so sick that they would allow chemtrails, 5G, vaccines, RFID to be proliferating in our society without even human testing. Kind of like Donald. Oh, I've got a wonderful idea. We could use people dying of the COVID to test vaccines. It would be wonderful. I mean, why haven't people done that? He said that last week. I'm building a video about it. I haven't yet released it. Yeah, the New World Order owns Russia and China. They bought them. Remember when George H.W. Bush was president? You do? A New World Order. 1,000 points of light. No quid pro quo. No new taxes. That man was a total Nazi. He worked for the Nazis when he was a young man. He was actually in the Luftwaffe. George H.W. Bush's real name was George H.W. Scherf. I know, isn't this weird? I wait till Sanctuary Sunday to talk about this. He actually had a direct Nazi connection. He was adopted by his father, Prescott. And George H.W. Scherf was a young cadet. I think he was in the Luftwaffe, yeah. If you have the earliest pictures of George, when he's a young man, And you can see the transmission, the transmigration of his facial features. As you can see, he is very similar. Yeah, 1938, when the Nazi George H.W. Scherf was in the Luftwaffe, and there was George H.W. Scherf when he moved to become the son of Prescott Bush. Now we know that Prescott Bush money laundered for Adolf Hitler. And you can thank a new world order, 1,000 points of light, no quid pro quo. Well, we do know that we'd have a lot more information about George H.W. Bush if Donald Trump would release it, but he refuses. He refuses to release it. There's a whole file that he should have released when George H.W. Bush was alive, and he didn't do it. It's regarding the JFK assassination. You see, George H.W. Scherf, being the Nazi that he was brought in by Prescott as part of the Nazi influence, and he established essentially a New World Order outpost in America. Ronald Reagan was just kind of a fill-in. Yeah, Reagan was an actor. He liked being in the center stage. He liked the attention. They knew that. And they chose an actor first, and then they implanted George H.W. as the VP. He was director of the CIA under Richard Nixon. And prior to that, he was the director of the Dallas precinct when our great president was killed at that terrible day in Dallas, Texas. You guys heard the new Bob Dylan ballad that he did on John F. Kennedy? It's beautiful. I'll have to play it later tonight. Bob Dylan's still making music. It's amazing. Anyway, long story short, the Nazis inherited, they basically installed their leader and then they put it, the New World Order is the Nazi movement. They embedded themselves again in our country, much like they did in Germany. Now, we have a very unique time right now where we can actually use this media while we still have it to intercept this plan. But you have to activate the people you know and tell them about this plan that's been going on for some time. And I'm not coming to you with some irrational belief. It's backed by fact. The Nazis were embedded in our country when Hitler lost the war. We even know, too, that Hitler escaped to Argentina. Believe it or not, he didn't die in Austria. They never got his any of his tooth imprints whatsoever. There was nothing there. That's unusual with a skull. So they just killed a couple people claiming it was him and Eva Braun. But he went to Argentina, and we know this because the FBI actually has 200 files on Adolf Hitler in their possession. And they never pursued one of them. It's the vault. I know this is almost impossible to believe, but here's the vault. You can go look at it yourself. It's at the FBI. And it is FBI.gov vault. They never pursued a single lead. Now, why would our FBI not pursue a single lead about Adolf Hitler living in Argentina? The only answer to that question is the Nazis had already taken over parts of our Federal Bureau of Investigation. That's the only answer you can possibly come up with. So anyway, you can go look at the vault right there. Let me give you guys over... Yeah, this is from the FBI files themselves. Owen says, if Bush was a Nazi, then why did he sell out to neocons who are Jewish? Good question, Owen. Because neocons who are Jewish were also Nazis. This is hard for you to understand, possibly, but I looked into the early days of Adolf Hitler, and I found that, in my deep study, I found that he actually was a relative of the Rothschild family, who, by the way, are not Jewish, in case you didn't know. Yeah. Got a couple things coming at your end, okay. Okay. What happened was...
This is Tapu 7.
Adolf Hitler got funding from the Rothschilds through various banks that they owned. That's how Adolf Hitler rose to power. He was also a very favored child, but more importantly, he had a very loud voice. And there was a time when there were no loudspeakers. And early in the 20s, when Hitler rose to power, there were no loudspeakers. So He was known as the screamer in World War I because he had like a minor war injury, and all he would do is scream. This is a true story about Adolf Hitler. His father was a bastard child of the Rothschilds, and his sister was his mother, Clara. Yeah, Clara Hitler, and this is a kind of a wild story I'm taking you on, but I'll give you the best I can. Clara Hitler was the mother of Angela Merkel. The grandmother of Angela Merkel. I'm going to show you something that's going to be shocking to all of you. I could never understand why Angela Merkel rose to power in Germany, and there was no real reason. And then I realized the Nazis had retained such a stronghold over their country that Clara, as seen right here, gave birth to Hitler, who gave birth to Angela Merkel. Okay? Look at the facial features and you see a very good, strong similarity between all of them. And there is little Angela Merkel with Hitler. So how in the world are we supposed to believe that if they had that much power that they reinstalled one of their own, the daughter of Adolf Hitler, in power in Germany, they're more than able to take over our country, folks? I mean, come on. Only 29 people were killed during Nuremberg. So these people who are, I'm going to say, Ashkenazis, like the Rothschilds, decided that they wanted to take over and do everything they could for the Palestinians. And they became very interested in helping the poor Palestinians. So much that it became necessary to pursue the Balfour Declaration of 1917. It was through this declaration that we were able to maintain the stronghold in Palestine and provide a safe haven for the Jews who had fled the war-torn country of Germany. Can't you see that? But anyway, that's Jacob Rothschild. He's very proud of the fact that he created Israel. And I'm certainly not here to... Yeah, that's what you think, that Merkel was only born in 1954. You think that, yeah. But you have no idea. Nor do you know when Tom Hanks was born. Anybody could be fake to be looking younger or older than they actually are. Have you seen Angela Merkel with her shaking movement on YouTube? Yeah, go to YouTube and look up Angela shaking Parkinson's. Angela is not a young lady. She's very old. And she is shaking. She's dealing with this problem, but many people are not sure why she is so old and shaking.
Mir geht es gut. Ich habe neulich...
I'm good. I've recently said I'm in a phase of coming to terms with what happened. Und she is dealing with the problem, okay? Nein, sie was nicht born in 1954. You are stupid. Du bist ein Dummkopf. Yeah, I'm going to leave the show now. So yeah, you're dealing with a possibility that is enormous, and the fact that they embedded themselves in our country, and George H.W. Scherf became George H.W. Bush, who then later became the director of the CIA that happened to be at that location where John F. Kennedy had his head blown off, and Donald Trump won't even admit that. He won't even bring that information out. He used a reason that George H.W. Bush was alive 4 years ago, not releasing any information, or 3.5 years ago. And then George H.W. Bush died, and he still hasn't released that information. So they're covering up their trail, the trail of this Ashkenazi bloodline, all the way to the Nazi Party. Now, if you want to sit back and go, oh, well, David, this sounds very, very weird. Well, then you ask me why we're sitting in our house like a bunch of scared rabbits when everybody in Russia is no longer facing any problem with the virus, and everyone in China is no longer facing any problem with the virus. Explain that to me. Yeah, I'm curious. Why do you think China and Russia are doing so well, yet we're now in lockdown? Okay, smarty pants, bring it to me. Yeah. Mr. Anderson, bring me your best. Yeah, why the big cities in China have no cases reported, right? Guangzhou, Shanghai, Beijing, Hangzhou. Altogether, 500 million people. Do you feel lucky? COVID demon, you have been violating our standard. You have now been removed from the show. If you're feeling a little bit weird, it's because there's a reason to be weird. Ja, das ist nichtig. Nein, I will not allow you to publish the birth date of Angela Merkel here. We will not allow the lies to be spread in this room. You realize that the Nazi Party has taken over America? You have no idea. Ja. Du bist ein Dummkopf. Meghan Merkel? Ooh, yeah. Angela Merkel. There you go. Maybe they're related. How do you know? Hey, let's talk briefly about something else, because right now, their primary goal is to take over America, and you're the 25% remaining, okay? They own Russia and China. They're taking over their last remaining 25%. You are that 25%. And when they do, then they're going to get rid of 90% of the population, because they don't need you. So, hasta la vista, baby. That's right. Automation can take over and build amazing new robots that don't defecate or have to eat. That's right. Humans are no longer purposeful. Okay, we're going to take a look at a couple of videos lined up for us here. Thank you. Okay, get the COVID information from the CDC about COVID-19. Let's take a look. Long period of time, the world hope something soon. Get the vaccine ready the next month. This video is sure appearing to bring the anti-vaccine loon. We need a vaccine. 5 months, we'll all be dead. Spending on advertising for 1 billion vaccines, so the other 5 billion are, that's nice, guys, work faster. Way too many vaccine people out there. Last fast track, vaccines. Thank you, President Trump. By September, forget it. Millions will die by then. Yep, I want to go back to normal. Give it to us, hurry. I don't get where we're on. We got to have a vaccine. There are people, oh no. September, what the literally a lifetime. We have to lose billions. We need the vaccine. September, really terrible. September, I don't want to waste my life. They said September. I know, right? Like they're waiting. September, millions. You've died. Then there's going to be many people die until September. September, we are doomed. How many people? Human trials will be in September. That's nice. Way too late. This may become Reverend quick as possible. No, vaccine. We need a vaccine. What took so long? Too long? I'm laughing at the anti-vaxxers. Thank you, science. Oh. No, they need to start testing immediately. If it's already successful on animals, it has to be tested on humans so we can give them as soon as they can get authorization. Yeah, he's tracking the trajectory of the vaccination development. Isn't this amazing? And he's literally reading it. Right on the internet. Great work, PK. Good job. Thank you. Yeah, oh my God, it takes too long. Please speed up approval. Forget about human testing. Let's just go ahead and get it out there, huh? I don't understand why we just can't get everybody vaccinated. We could just take people who are dying and test them with whatever vaccine. Ew. You have been removed from the show based on chat violations. Beep. Bill Gates calls coronavirus pandemic a nightmare scenario, but predicts lower death toll after vaccines. Sure. Look at the sign of the devil. Evildoer. He predicts no, things won't go back to normal until we have a vaccine. We've got it to basically the entire world, he says. MIT developed new tattoo ID to check for vaccines. Revelation, Bill Gates and ID 2020, microchips for a cashless society. Ooh, the Rockefeller Foundation. The mark of the beast. Tattooing people on the backs, just like Hitler did. Wow. Are we going to stop this or what? Are we going to be like the Jewish people and just let ourselves be turned into slaves? Are we? Because my vision of the future does not include us being slaves. I have a real strong feeling that I'm on the right track, and you guys, if you support me, we can stop these bastards. It's that serious. I know it's become kind of ridiculous, but I have spent 12 years waking you up to the need for a third party, and I think many of you are starting to listen. Thank you, by the way. If this doesn't spawn a centrist movement, nothing will. We need to find unity, and I have found a pathway that protects us from this nightmare of 90% fear and 10% bioweapon. Yeah. I have a pathway that would bring us a better society without the dangerous 5G that we have coming out right now. We would have limiters on all the 5G networks. We would have Faraday cages for everybody's home. It would be a retrofit that would be so great for America that it would almost be amazing. We would we would make it smart dust to be illegal, and we'd make vaccines to be heavily regulated, and no way that would ever force a vaccine on the population. So basically what I'm trying to do, folks, and I know this may be difficult for many of you Republicans to understand, but I'm trying to help clarify the problem by focusing on the First Amendment, the Second Amendment, and the Fourth Amendment. We have other concerns. Assembly is an issue that they're saying we won't be able to assemble publicly until we are all social distanced properly and checked out for vaccinations. They're actually saying that right now. They're saying assembly won't be possible for years to come. So I'm really trying to pitch a kind of a plan that supersedes all that, but goes back to the very core of what America is founded on. The First, Second, Fourth Amendments. First being our free speech. Now, you people on the left can freely speak out, just like people on the right can freely speak out. We would encourage that in my world. It would be a nonstop discussion, granted, but we have to go issue by issue. But more importantly, I protect your freedom of speech. I won't impose hate laws like the Democrats. Second of all, I'm planning on an idea that protects our ability to even defend ourselves against the 5G network by supporting our Second Amendment. Donald Trump won't talk about the dangers of the 5G network at all. 5G will make your weapons, your Second Amendment weapons, they won't even be useful. I will never impose ID 2020 on anybody because it won't be necessary. We don't need that level of control over our people. There's no reason why we would have to force all the people in the world or in America to be dog-tagged like Hitler did to the Jewish people. So obviously, First, Second, Fourth Amendments are extremely important. Fourth Amendment being our right to privacy, and no one should jab us with a needle, because that's the most sacred private area of our body, is our skin, our largest organ. It's so sick that they would even think about this and force us to do this. So we have an obligation now to do this. I have a vision for our future, and I believe that vision will come to fruition, that we can actually open up brand new ways of making money and living in this wonderful planet of ours. These are all potential new opportunities, what I'm showing you right now. Wrong. It was a wrong image I was trying to bring in there. Yeah. I've got a lot of things stacked in this page I haven't even gotten to. But most of all, air filtration is really important. Getting our smokestacks filtered, making sure that they are free of massive air pollution, heavy metals, and not just getting rid of the heavy metals by dispersing them like they are right now with chemtrails, but actually burning them down to nothing, to the point where they don't even exist. They're burned to dust to dust, right? David, I don't think I'll be back. Oh no, what's going on? There we go. Yes, your cousin's related. Are you feeling worse or something, Anita? What's happening? That was really good. I'm glad that PK did that. I'll take a look at the medical martial law begins as Red Lake introduces border restrictions. Thank you for that, too. Well, we're worried about you, Anita. And even if you go to the hospital, I don't think there's that many COVID patients out there. Most of it seems fake to me. Yeah, I think a lot of this is fear. Like I said, 90% fear. But even if you go to the hospital, there's a good chance you'll get better. Once they do that ultrasound on you, they're going to try to remove a kidney stone she has jammed. No, the border fence was to help prevent people from coming into our country. I never wanted to hurt people, nor would I want to keep you in. I would want us to be able to go travel to Mexico anytime we want. But in order to get to this world, this ideal world that I hope for America, where we're not allowing big genetically modified food producers to make anything other than fuel. I mean, believe it or not, in my plan, I actually have a place for Dow Chemical and Bayer. It's just not controlling things that would destroy our food cycle. Dow Chemical can still continue to make plastic that we could use in our ocean pipelines to create fresh water. And there would be a strong plastic need there, big time. There's no question about the order. It's going to be huge. Or as Donald says, it's going to be huge. It's going to be tremendous. It'll be great for Dow Chemical. I don't like Dow Chemical. I'm upfront about that. I think that they've been poisoning the earth. The glyphosate's got to stop. We can't keep with that. We've come up with a natural weed preventative that is completely based on a process of organic food production that we're currently already well in development. Rodale has developed so much knowledge that it's almost unbelievable. Rodale did a study and they found out that organic food production, it makes food just as drought resistant as genetically modified drought resistant seeds. You can take any seed and build up the soil base like you're comforting a baby, and it'll grow into a beautiful plant and produce nutritional food, nutritious food. And if we rely on GMOs and chemical fertilizers like we've been doing, we will destroy the earth. Now, we don't have a lot of time to reverse this, but you're at the helm of the reversal by being a part of our third party. So that much I can tell you. I'm a big, strong supporter of environmental practices that don't charge you taxes too. We've had too many taxes charged upon the American people, and that's where I differ from the Democrats, Republicans, who are constantly pitching cap and trade. No, I don't even need to get money. Unlike Donald Trump, I'm not in debt. I don't have a worry in the world. I'm so set financially, I never ever could do this. So yeah, I guess you'd say I'm very fortunate to be the way I am, frugal. Had I been born as a spendy person, I probably never would be able to do this show. But because I am so frugal, I was able to save enough to, retire at a young age, unlike Donald Trump. So unlike him, I'm not viable. I don't have any need for money whatsoever. In fact, I have plans to build out my properties to make them publicly available for people to look into my collection and visit my museum. We'll have a security staff 24/7 here at the homestead. We'll have parking all the way around. I envision having an open book for all of you to look at. And I also plan on having a concession in the White House to help pay for the budget of the White House, where I can actually donate to the White House budget, simply by offering things for sale from my collection. I have a massive collection, dating back over 100 years. My earliest pieces date back to the 1700s. And I've been a collector of ephemera for decades. And I don't do it anymore because I acquired such a large collection that I don't need to actually sell any of it. If I did, I could, but I don't need to. Chinese whistleblower doctor admits that 5G can cause flu-like symptoms and would be a threat to national safety. Really? Well, we're going to take a look at that in a second. It doesn't appear to be that at all. I'm not sure why you're claiming it. I've got to do some videos here. Let's get to the whole point. I want to stop the chemicals they're spraying in the air above you. That's one of my big points. And when we look in the air above us and see these things, sky literally is filled with heavy metals that we're breathing in to our lungs. And a lot of this is smart dust with RFID chipping in it. And they've been tracking all of us for years, over the years, and it's not stopping anytime soon. Our bodies have smart dust in them already, but not a lot. It's not in our bloodstream, it's mostly in our lungs. So if we were to get hit with a 5G network right now, any one of us, it could pretty much fry us. And we'd get the same symptoms of people falling down like in China. Bellevue Media Circus yesterday, or 2 days ago in New York, pretending to be a real event. It's crazy how much fakery is going on.
Excuse me. Can you tell me where I can get shots of the freezer containers that are taking the dead bodies away?
I don't know.
All right. Thank you. Excuse me. Can you tell me where I can get shots? Sorry. Can you tell me where I can get shots of the freezer containers?
I have no idea.
You know what I'm talking about? Good. All right. Thank you.
Now, the areas that have been looked at throughout New York have been empty. It's like a disaster. It's like a ghost town around the hospitals. So they're lying about all these COVID patients. But now we're hearing from the grapevine, Bengalitis says, your informants in Japan said Prime Minister Abe will declare a lockdown tomorrow. Well, we pretty much have a lockdown going on right now, but why is it getting so serious so fast? Where are the bodies? Show me the pictures of the bodies. We've been saying that with all the false flags that we've been telling you about, lies by our government. Where are the bodies? So natural transitions to a future would be working with corporations that are currently bad corporations and making them better. Not going in and trying to be like the Democrats were in the past and just penalizing everything. Every single company we just penalized. So we created a group of sociopaths that work in these big pharma companies and big agriculture companies. These are the people that got the 5-day MBAs and literally are sociopaths. So we've got a lot of reworking to do and probably rehiring to do at a lot of companies so that we have people who are sensitive to the environment. But there's no reason why any one company should feel like this is a threat to the future of our country. We will be helping all of those companies migrate to a cleaner and better and much more environmentally safe and sane future. Now, the $2.2 trillion we've just authorized mostly goes to corporations. We can harness that in 2021. All that money's not going out immediately anyway, so we can grab some of that money to do some of the work we need to do right now. But obviously, ending GMOs and stopping forced vaccinations will be high on my agenda. So the EPA and FDA will literally be completely reformed, and the CDC will be fired and rehired with a smaller team. I'll be putting together a 24/7 cancer cure center that will be able to solve problems in shifts, morning, noon, and night, focusing on creating low-cost healthcare solutions for people with cancer. The time of profiteering from healthcare will be over once I implement these plans. It's kind of scary, I know. So you saw the amazing coin that they've already minted, right? I don't know if you all saw this. It's bizarre. It shows you how deep this goes, the rabbit hole. The Nazi America that's trying to take over right now will be stopped if we can stop them at the election polls in 2020. Let me show you what they're developing. It's been minted already. They're already making these. They're going to be in circulation way ahead of the event that just happened, alleged bioweapon. Yeah, this is kind of a shocker. "5G causes coronavirus." Proof. Really? You know, you're sending me a lot of these weird things like slick kicks. I'm gonna pass on that. Yeah, it doesn't look like these are real links you're sending me. Here's a new one I showed you earlier, the New Yorker. Donald Trump's insistent not to wear a single mask. Clearly he's blinded by the harsh truth that he doesn't know what he's doing. He's so intent on looking intelligent that he's forgotten that he doesn't listen to anyone at all. Last week, the World Health Organization said masks don't matter. Yet good results in South Korea and in Singapore showed that masks do matter. Now the CDC is saying that masks do matter, but Donald is like, no, I won't wear a mask. No, I'm so sorry. I won't wear it. No, not going to do it. No, I don't want to wear a mask. He's like a child. Isn't that funny? Let me get you that coin. There it is. Here is the 2020 U.S. quarter. Makes you think someone knew something, you know? Makes you think someone knows something. Yeah, it's got a bat on it. They couldn't have gone to mint. This would have had to have been in development about a year ago. How did they know that this was all going to be about a bat virus, the SARS virus? How the hell did they know unless they're behind it, folks? It's impossible. So they're doing it right in front of our face with our leaders going, duh. Well, I don't believe it's a whatever you want to call it, biologically engineered, those big word things. I don't know what you're saying, but I think you know what I'm saying. It's not really a big thing. Next question. It's a bioweapon, Donald. It's a bioengineered weapon, and it's put out there by your good friends, Donald Trump's good friends, Xi Jinping and Vladimir Putin. It's a bioweapon. Yes, I'm sorry to say it is. And Donald Trump wants to suppress information. He doesn't talk about the free speech problems we're having on YouTube getting knocked off. He doesn't want to talk about the fact that this 5G network could veritably nullify your weapons. Your AR-15 won't be worth a damn. The day will come down when your AR-15 won't even get you through the day, man. They'll hit a button and you'll be like, and you'll be gone. Well, he did have weapons. Yeah, go ahead and melt them down. Mom doesn't need them. Okay. Something like that. Okay. The Fourth Amendment, the most important for all of you. It's the one to keep the vaccines from being shot into your bloodstream. Forced vaccination is a gross violation of the Fourth Amendment, our privacy. Let alone somebody coming to your door and saying, we are noticing there are 3 people in here. 2 of them are not chipped. We must access your interior of your home. We will enter your home now. Seriously, I'm not scaring you. I'm telling you the truth. This is what's coming. Get on board. Okay, we got a video tonight in our Sanctuary Sunday, which will show you how you can live comfortably in an urban environment. And I'm going to show you this video of a guy later tonight. This is our video segment of a guy who built himself an amazing urban stealth camping van. All right, let's just listen in for a bit. So he made the interior. He's got this whole thing worked out. I'm just going to show you pictures because they'll monetize me. He's got a YouTube site. He's making money on his YouTube channel. But he shows you the conversion process. These are really cool, man. I mean, I love what they're doing. A lot of young people are building these vans, and yeah, you can totally live in a stealth environment with incredible fun and make it so nice somebody might want to, live with you. It's cool, man. I'm just saying, it's all good. So yeah, is that you, Daryl? I'm sorry, we exposed Daryl's YouTube account. Okay, man. But I'll put that in tonight's show because I want to mix it up a little bit. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Unreal. Many of the vaccinated people last year are dying now. Exactly. I don't trust the vaccines, and if you want to go pro-vax on me, you might as well just vote Democrat, Republican. If you really don't want to have somebody force a needle into you, you need to think about America's third party. Seriously. I'm not trying to lead you into a dark place. They are. Only somebody wants to stick you with a needle. I will never order that upon you. Ever. Under any circumstances. We got to stick up for our rights, folks. If we don't do it now, believe me, there's a lot of bad things happening, and it's not pretty. They're poised to take over with all kinds of cybernetic controls over the human race. I'm not trying to freak you out. I'm telling you, this is the time, man. FG proven to cause flu-like symptoms. I heard about that, yeah. You keep promoting that. It's kind of amazing. Okay.
Up in Minnesota, we have an Indian tribe here, the Chippewas, that have basically gone into a medical martial law lockdown. They're stating that at this point, the Indian reservation is going to let only essential travel go down. This is very similar to what we're seeing in other parts of the country, but they're not using the terminology medical martial law. But they're openly using this here, talking about this, and they're saying that there's going to be a curfew put in place, 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. They go over a whole thing here about how people can pass through but cannot stop. The semi-trucks can stop if they're bringing in food and goods and things like that, obviously. But anyone else is going to see penalties. They're going to be eyeballing everything and everyone. And it's just really the first time that I've seen them use the term martial law here in any instance in this lockdown. Now, of course, in California, we had Newsom say we can invoke martial law if we deem it to be a necessity or necessary. But nowhere have they come out and said, this is martial law, we're locking everything down. Here at this reservation, they're calling it that, but they're calling it medical martial law because of the whole situation with COVID. So I don't care if you throw medical in front of it or not, it still has the stipulations of the lockdown, and of course they have some of their own little rules tied into this, but in terms of calling it martial law, they're doing it here, and I'm seeing the same tactics being rolled out elsewhere. Make sure to join us over here on DLive Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Going live, breaking all this stuff down exclusively over here.
Monday, Wednesday, Friday, man. I put 7 days a week in. He puts 3 days a week in because he's a YouTube star. That's Dabu Stebbin. He's been making tons of money on AdSense dollars for years. Well, that's kind of a story. What I don't like about him is just he's put something on the screen and keeps it on there for hours. If he's going to make AdSense bucks, he better work for it. That's what I think. But, anybody making AdSense bucks with a single screen image and talking about it for 3 minutes is a joke. All right. World is under house arrest, I know. Yeah, so we've got a pathway politically to stop this through word of mouth. You guys are already well on the way to telling people about us, third party, and my efforts, America's third party, to stop the two-party tyranny that's taken over our country. And you people around the world, by telling your family members that are living here, will also help. So that's something you can do. I can't receive any donations from foreigners, but you U.S. people could donate to me if you really want to get behind this effort. You're welcome for putting the effort in, George. I'm here because I want to make your life a little bit better, because we didn't even have a Sunday show. Now we have a Sunday show, and it goes on every day, 14 hours a day. We have too much information to bring in without actually taking taking the time to do this. But we're going to see this type of a meltdown. It's already happening in Vermont. They won't even sell non-essential items they call non-essential, like seeds. In Vermont, you can't find seeds in markets because they consider those non-essential items. The socialist Bernie Sanders types in Vermont are all getting all huff about this, and they'll penalize you $300 too if you go out into a park in Vermont. In Burlington, Vermont, they said that you get up to a $300 fine for walking into a park. They want everyone in their house now. So this is just a lockdown process, which is an absolute ridiculous overreaction to whatever the hell is out there. Now, since it's not materializing as fast as they thought it was, Trump is working desperately to try to, get people to come into the country. So going against his own words, he's allowing travel in and out of the country. And we've talked about that. I will say this, it has decreased a little bit over the past 5 days. But with travel still going in and out of the country, there's no way that a lockdown is going to prevent the spread of a disease. So we need to find a new normal, and that's why I'm supporting the Swedish model of letting people go back to work. And if Donald doesn't do that soon, he will be, historically speaking, the worst president we've ever had. No president in our history has ever shut our country down for 3 weeks, let alone another 2 or 3 weeks. So he's already in the worst president category. It's the worst thing you can do is to possibly shut down an economy like this. Okay. Yeah, we saw this postman who did this. He wipes his nose and then this is common, man. Yeah, this is not unheard of. The thing is, they can't read the label. These guys are working double time and they can't read the label without putting some mucus on it. Seriously. This is common. This is the second eye ring thing we've gotten. We saw him wipe his nose, yeah, whatever. Whatever. That's nothing. If Donald Trump was a good president, he would have made a public announcement on the 5 or 6 press sessions he's had so far. And he would have said that the mail is not sanitized. That's all he had to say. It wouldn't have been that big of a deal. And he would ask big questions about why are they using 5G in our schools if he was a good president. But he's not a good president. Yeah, what I'm doing right now is what a good president would do. Alert, mail is not sanitized. Just one of those things I can do for you. Anything's possible. I showed you earlier that there are hydrogen units. Actually, they're called hydrogen peroxide units that vaporize and can clean the mail. But he hasn't even begun the process of building that. If we really do have an unsafe bioweapon out there, which I think we do, taking precaution like the social distancing is totally cool. I don't walk outside at all, except with my air mask to do a little watering the garden. That's all I did today. But if Donald Trump really cared about us, he'd be fiercely protecting our First and Second and Fourth Amendment rights. I can understand about our right to assemble may very well be altered until we could get a handle on what we're dealing and we find a new normal. If we are dealing with a dangerous bioweapon, we have to deal with that. But according to Dr. Fauci, this is no worse than a severe influenza. He himself said that. Yep. This article right here I showed you the other night. Maybe you weren't watching our show, but I'll show you again. This was written about a week ago by Anthony Fauci. I don't like the guy. I think he's kind of out to lunch, but he did write this in the New England Journal of Medicine. And this is the article, March 26, 2020, in which he says categorically, this suggests that the overall clinical consequence of COVID-19 may ultimately be more akin to those of a severe influenza, a severe seasonal influenza. which has a case fatality rate of 0.1%, approximately 0.1%. Yeah, so there you have it. New England Journal of Medicine. 1 week ago, Dr. Fauci. He certainly did. Are you saying that the New England Journal of Medicine is lying? Are you unable to read? Hey, I'm going to put you on mute because you're such an idiot, and you can go read the article now. I can't believe that guy's even on our show. I mean, he's such an idiot. It's beyond belief. No funding? There's $7.5 billion for the funding. Every year. Our government is going to fork over a lot. There's a lot of funding for USPS in our bill. They're covering for Amazon. They want to give Amazon a free ride, get paid $2 a package, whereas we would pay $20. So it warns it might have to shutter by June as $2 trillion coronavirus it provides no funding. I read there's funding in it. I don't know where this article is coming from. That's absurd. I read funding in it. The original bill, maybe it didn't get to the Senate floor, but the original bill from the House had funding for USPS. Oh, Dr. Fauci's news. I don't like the guy. He's a definite puppet. And one of the weirdest things about Dr. Fauci is one of the weirdest things about Dr. Fauci is his statement in 2017 of a surprise outbreak that'll happen during the Trump administration. This is the third story I've read about this in the past few days. Dr. Anthony Fauci said, he's the U.S. government's top infectious disease specialist, warned in early 2017 that a surprise outbreak would occur during the Trump administration. And he said that more needed to be done to prepare for a pandemic. Now we have to ask, what does Dr. Fauci know about this? And he'd be a criminal witness in a criminal investigation. I would probably, if I were president right now, I would not only fire Dr. Fauci for making this statement, because he's complicit in whatever the hell leaked out of Wuhan, but I would indict him on this alone. This would be enough to indict him. His pre-knowledge of this event. So do we trust anything the guy says? Hell no. Yeah. George, hang on. I got to look here. Hang on. Okay, Xi Jinping fakes crying about the COVID-19 deaths? Really?
You can upload anything there.
Huh?
People can upload anything there.
I know. I see that. Okay. Hang on. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and transition to Sarah right now. And as much as I want to protect these amendments, I'm going to leave these on the screen. Is that okay? Or is that too much for you?
No, it's fine. Whatever.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Of course I want to protect the Constitution.
But we need to protect the Constitution, folks.
I believe in the Constitution.
Every 2-3 years, China comes out with a new virus. Yeah, not hard to guess why. Yeah, they're the ones making masks and sanitizers. You made a very important statement, Mork. Thank you. Yeah, China profits from all the sanitizers and all the masks and all the different items, gloves, etc. And they even have a bootleg market where they put old masks out there and pretend like they're legitimate. We saw that last week. That's very good, Bork. Thank you. Yep. We're doing great. And Sarah's here to give you guys a different tone in the show because I'm not a person who pushes this kind of stuff all the time. I want you to have a break.
And David and I have very different viewpoints.
We do, but we both support the Bill of Rights, though.
Of course, we both support the Constitution.
Absolutely. Now, we have a set of things that I've been putting this to the screen today, but
I think Fauci warning of a surprise outbreak is like a meteorologist saying that there's probably going to be a huge hurricane season coming up.
I don't know.
I
don't think so. It looked like a surprise thing. The very word that he used indicates he had foreknowledge. That's enough to indict a person. If he's committing genocide with a bioweapon or participating in that and protecting the World Health Organization, we already know that the World Health Organization refused to allow a Taiwan person to even be recognized. And we also know that they ignored that person saying there was human-to-human transfer. So the World Health Organization, which is connected to Dr. Fauci, is complicit in not telling the world that there's human-to-human transfer for a 2-week period that we know of. That's criminal of itself. That's a war crime. So the World Health Organization has committed a war crime by ignoring Taiwan and their recommendations. And they're on record saying that. So we have a systematic need to look at the World Health Organization as being a problem because they simply are an arm of China. And they're not doing the work to protect countries like Taiwan or even the facts regarding this disease. So there's enough to implicate both the World Health Organization and Dr. Fauci.
I've heard there's been predictions that the hurricane season will be pretty bad this year. Super Dave, you might have been banned by one of our ops over on iVlog. Morkay, did David ban your Medveral site? Your Medveral name? Is that what happened? Cute. Okay. Well, over at iVlog, you're just, I don't know if it has a possibility to do, probably tiddly, yeah. I take it Morkay is Medveral, aka Dr. Meow, right? My dad reminded me today, I was talking to my family before I came on earlier, and my dad reminded me, like, I'm very blessed to be in the position that I'm at. My family is pretty much, yeah, in a good place, in a good position. I mean, it's awesome that David has the time to do this shut-in show and that he's been doing, and I'm really blessed to have the job that I have, and thank you, Bangalitis. And Bangalitis wrote, I bless everyone around me, and I hope so, because I know I'm blessed, so I want to spread that to other people. Do you guys want to do some Bible trivia, or shall we just sit and chat for a bit? Okay. No. All right, heard nice and loud. According to some site, economic advisor Peter Navarro went up against infectious disease expert Anthony Fauci over the anti-malarial drug. More veterans committed suicide last decade than died in Vietnam. Whoa. That's very sad, Nutel. Very sad. The last 10 years. How long was Vietnam? How long did the Vietnam War last? How are you working from home now, pre-op?
Okay, so I wanted to get on here and do a quick little thing here. I'm seeing a lot of people out in public wearing gloves right now. That's great. If you want to wear gloves, you know, that's all fine and well. You absolutely can. But I want to remind you of a little thing called cross-contamination.
Yeah, that's true about the cross-contamination. So when you remove your gloves, you got to do that. Does she show you how to remove them correctly? I'll leave it up for David to play later then. That's very good. I was wearing some gloves the other day and I was thinking about that. That's the whole point. You got to remove them correctly. Yeah, sometimes I do choose to not watch the news, Cranky Beans. My dad says there's a Facebook group he hangs out on. It's some kind of the virtual pub, I think it's called, and it's some kind of UK pub that one of the rules on their group is no COVID talk on here. And the thing is too, you shouldn't just leave gloves hanging around, throw them away, or some people I've seen litter their gloves. Water shark bullet, what? All right. Never mind. I don't think that's what I was looking for. I was looking for some... I haven't had anything delivered. Well, actually, I did get a book. I haven't really been reading it, but I did get a book. Oh, okay. Trivia, Zellfire. What would you like to do trivia about? I was gonna look up the coronavirus cases in my area. 2019. I don't have a book that is from 2019. If I did, I gave it to one of my students to take home, I think. To the Chosen, I did not read the Apocryphs when God and Satan leave the earth to the Chosen. You think I should know my medals? I don't. Well, I guess I do, because I was looking at some quarters and I said, I think this quarter might be silver. And I looked at it and sure enough, it was silver. So maybe I do know my medals. Whoa. I jumped another 11 cases in my county since yesterday. I was thinking, oh, it's just jumped three. And now it's up to... In the last... We are not even 1 month. My county... The first case in my county was, I know, on March 10th, there was 1 positive COVID test case in our county. And today... There's 132 positive cases. 132. That's pretty much the only place I check for coronavirus news, is I just go to like the Department of Health for Washington State, and I've been checking it every day. They had one release they had a news release a few days ago. I'm sure there are plenty more that have not been counted. Wow. This was released on Friday. They're currently investigating a number of confirmed cases associated with employees of Walgreens, Walmart, and IDEX. And they will provide guidance to employees and employers. There may have been public exposure between March 22nd and March 27th. Or March 30th. Wow. You spent $30 on a pizza tonight, but all you're doing is eating the toppings because you don't like the cheese or the dough. You think it's like too fattening or something. I've been eating the cheese and the dough. Yeah, you could have just bought a $4 pack of pepperoni. That's true. Or you could have just called the pizza place and asked them for, can you just cook me up some pepperoni? Zellfire, heroin is horrible. Don't do it. Sure, I'll do a little trivia. All right. No person in the modern world can be considered educated without a basic knowledge of all the great religions of the world. Islam, Confucianism, Taoism, Buddhism, Hinduism, Judaism, and Christianity. But our knowledge of Judaism and Christianity needs to be more detailed than that of other great religions, if only because the Bible is embedded in our thought and language. The Bible is a central book in our culture, just as the Quran is central in other nations. The logical conclusion is that our schools need to teach more about the Bible than the Quran, but they have a responsibility to teach about both. Far from being illegal or undesirable, teaching about the Bible is not only consistent with our Constitution, it is essential to our literacy. That's from What Every American Needs to Know. Who were the first two patriarchs of the Old Testament? According to the book of Genesis, God made a covenant with the older one, telling him to leave his own country and promising to give his family the land of Canaan. Angel Sound, you're right about Abraham. God also promised to maintain the covenant with Abraham's son. Who was Abraham's son? I agree, Tiddly. Don't be into that. Correct, Cranky Beans. Isaac. After a time, God tested Abraham by telling him to sacrifice Isaac as a burnt offering. Abraham obediently placed Isaac on an altar and took a knife to kill him. Then an angel of the Lord appeared and told Abraham to spare his son because Abraham had proved his faith. Both Jews and Arabs claim descent from Abraham, Jews through Isaac and Arabs through Abraham's other son. Does anybody know Abraham's other son? I did not know the name last night. I couldn't think of it. Correct, Cranky Beans. Ishmael. I'm not proselytizing. You do not have to believe the Bible. Please don't. If you don't want to, don't. I don't. I mean, I know the Bible very well, but it's not like I believe everything's like the Word of God. No. All right. The bosom of Abraham is a term used in the Gospel of Luke, and in poetry it often refers to the peace of heaven. Here, by the way, is an engraving of an angel stopping Abraham from killing Isaac. There we go. You wondered about the angel's name, yeah. You spent 5 years in the army fighting against that, and you were 7 active years, 2 years in, 9/11 hit. I think a good site for learning advanced math is Khan Academy. They have calculus on there and really easy to understand lessons. I was thinking of going back and learning some advanced math on there, and I mean, it was started by an MIT graduate, so Sal Khan. He was the way, I like his whole story too. I mean, Sal Khan, here, I'll give you a link. Khan. I've been promoting this a lot, and for some reason I've been promoting it so much I thought everybody knew about it, but. So let me tell you a little history about Khan Academy. So Sal Khan is a MIT graduate. I don't know what his degree is in, but his cousin, his female cousin, was going into like 7th grade or 8th grade. It's completely free. That's the best thing about Khan Academy and it's like, I'll tell you a little brief history about Khan Academy. So his 7th grade cousin wanted to get into like I think pre-algebra class or something like that, and she didn't qualify, and so they asked if he said, well, maybe I can tutor her over the summer, and then it's totally free. That's the coolest thing about Khan Academy, is they have not sold out one bit. Even though they've had plenty of offerings, they've never sold out. They're completely nonprofit and have been for years. Totally free, and they're totally awesome, and they're growing. I mean, they're one place I would consider donating to, because I just like them. I like their idea. But so anyway, he started doing like Skype sessions with his cousin, and then somebody else asked him to tutor, etc., etc. So pretty soon he was doing like being tutors to all these people, and then he's like, well, I'm reteaching the same thing. So then he started making videos, and so yeah, it's all online classes, all completely free, and all like video segments, and it's just his voice on a black screen. Some of them, of course, are not just his voice, because they have from kindergarten all the way up into advanced mathematics. They also have physics, and that's what their primarily they started with mathematics, and then they expanded into some sciences, and now they do all kinds of, every kind of different thing you want to learn. Everything you want to learn, you could probably find at Khan Academy. And me too, Tiddly D. I just this week got faster internet, so I'm really happy. But yeah, Khan Academy is completely free. And then all of the videos that he first started making were like 10 minutes. And he said that's because YouTube at the time limited all videos that could be uploaded to 10 minutes. And he's like, you know what though? It ended up being perfect, because that's about the attention span of people, is about 10 minutes. And then it expanded out, so now he has you can work through courses. And I know a friend of mine, his wife was my friend said his wife was nervous didn't like math when she was growing up, but then she's like, I'm going to go back to school and I want to go back and learn math. And now she's tutoring calculus students. It was up to you to get me to talk about something other than the Bible, and math is my thing. You just can get me to talk about math, and I'm there. One of the things that I want to do is actually make videos about fractions. I do not know, but I'm a total fraction fiends. I love fractions. I really do. I know, they're amazing. Khan Academy is amazing. It's completely amazing. Yeah, maybe Anita can learn how to add. Well, and some of the things is they sent 6th graders, they say, go back to the kindergarten courses, because of course you'll work through the kindergarten lessons really fast if you know the material. But what if you were absent for the week that they taught a certain concept in school? It can fill in any of your missing concepts. I bet you're ruthless on a lot of games, Tiddly D. Common Core and COVID, but do both start with a CO? It's a sign! Beware! Oh, goodness, Jacques. So funny. Too good to admit he needs a lesson. Way too good. I mean, I kept trying to say, yes, but it's at least 10 times the 1% versus 0.1% means 1% is 10 times the death rate. But never mind. But one thing, yeah, I think I mean, part of me really does, especially like multiplying fractions, and then decimals are really just fractions because 1/10 is 0.1, right? I mean, they're the same. Anyway, I do love math. I didn't realize I'm a total math nerd. I know. Thanks, Cranky Beans. I know. You can learn anything, even about the Old Testament. And yeah. Oh, if you just go to Khan Academy, once you work through their math, you won't suck at it anymore. I know, we should do that again sometime, Tiddly D. That would be fun. Yep, exactly. Don't worry, be happy. Exactly. And you know, I do things all visually. So for me, teaching multiplying fractions, the way I do it is like, I'm like, you have your fractions on going like as rows. You cut your thing into fractions this way, and then you cut the fractions in this way. And then where they overlap is your answer for multiplication. And so it's like 1/2 times 1/3 is 1/6. But yeah, and then for division, division though gets tricky. Because with division of fractions, you end up with a larger number than you started with. But yeah. Oh, so the questions that I'm not good at are those picture problems where they start out with like a picture and they're adding 3 things, and then they add something else in the picture, and then they do something else in the picture, but they change the picture, and then they change the signs. Okay. All right. Yes. Don't worry. Be happy. 1 + 4 divided by 10 - 5. Well, I would read that as 1 + 4 is 5. 5 divided by 10, because you don't have the 10 - 5 in parentheses. I would read that as 5 divided by 10 is 1/2 minus 5. I would read that as -4.5. I know. Well, they got me hooked into math. Sorry, Cranky Beans. You have a problem with the lengthy word questions. If you have problems with word problems, I've got the total site for you. It's called Thinking Blocks. And if you just Google Thinking Blocks, it will help you solve word problems. But another thing with word problems is actually take and cover up the numbers and just read the word problem without the numbers, because then it's really about the story. Interesting, Morkay. Where do you work, Bengalitis? The ones with the paragraphs and their multiple steps, like multi-step word problems. Oh, you wanted the answer to be 1? Well then, if you wanted the answer to be 1, you should have put this. You're a working warrior. Thank you for your being a working warrior, and thank you for working if you're essential. I know, you're right. I'm glad you're helping capitalism and humanity, Bangalitis. For you, you're just like, get on with it already. Yeah, that makes sense, Tiddly D. I don't know. I guess I really like math problems. I think I want, one of the things, who was it that gave me, I think Mad Dog gave me something to study free, and I could see what Khan Academy offers, but one thing I would consider studying is data, like data science. One plus 4 is 5 divided by 8. 5/8 minus 6 would be negative 5 and 3/8. Nice, Bangalitis. Well, the thing is, I think we don't teach our students like negative numbers. So -6, I'm like -5. Anyway, I teach it that way. You would like to take care of all servers. Negative isn't necessarily bad. It could be like underwater. How far does a submarine go? If you see the submarine, that's like 0. If it's sinking, then that's 0, negative. They talk about like sea level. How can you measure the bottom of the ocean? It's like negative so many feet down. That giant underwater 5G cable. I know people say to think positive, but I don't see negative as a bad thing. Negative numbers, that is. There's a cool site that I found out about that's free until June, and it's called stmath.com, and it stands for Spatial Temporal Math. And the people that created it said that there's a lot of research with UC Irvine about spatial temporal reasoning. 1 plus 3 is 4. 4 divided by 6 is 2/3, or 4/6, which is 2/3. 2/3 times 7 is 14/3, which equates to 4 and 2/3. Those I can do, don't worry, be happy. It's those weird picture puzzles. Not yet, Bangalitis, but I was going to tell David to let's download it now. I know David doesn't want to download it during the show, but I did put my email address in it into ACDC. So I have it for David to download onto our computer. I'm wondering if I should download it on my, well, anyway. I don't have, this is not a frog. This is not an earring either. It's a little like bungee thing for your jacket, for my You know, when you pull these. You ever turned a pizza upside down just to get the last toppings off? You really don't like pizza? You just like the toppings? It is a nice jacket, I know. David gave it to me. He bought it for me for Christmas. It's very good quality. Oh, I like this hood on. It feels so comfy. I feel like I'm in like a little cave and I'm liking it. Really interesting, Bangalitis. Are you just trying to avoid the cheese, or are you lactose intolerant? What do you think, Pirate? I think so. You don't like the sauce, or you do? Because you can always, if you don't like the sauce, if it's too like spicy for you, you can always ask your pizza company to not put sauce on it. They'd gladly do that for you. Ah, it gives you heartburn. It's the sauce, definitely. Just tell them next time you order pizza, just say, hey, can I get whatever kind of pizza you get? But pepperoni causes heartburn too, dude. But say, okay, can I get such and such pizza without the sauce? Or you could get like garlic sauce or pesto sauce, depending on the pizza parlor. I like pesto sauce. Or you could ask for ranch, depending on the pizza parlor, of course. I know the pepperoni's meat. That's true. Some pizza parlors do hamburger. So then that's less like heartburn. Just pepperoni has like, you know, all those spices in it. Oh no, Vorpal Bite. You ate too much. Barbecue sauce is good on a pizza, that's true. I've been eating a little bit. I don't know. I still snack. I eat. But I would definitely... Oh, you say avoid Taco Bell. Okay. The day is going a little slow. That's true. I would say... You say avoid Taco Bell. I was going to say, yeah. I would say ask them to make whatever pizza you do without sauce next time. And see how that reacts. Just take one slice or one bite. I like green olives. David likes black olives. And the first time I had black olives was on a pizza. And when I had it, I just thought that they put green olives on the pizza and like burned them. I didn't know there were two types of olives. I do like green with pimento, yes. And I like pimento cheese. My sisters introduced that to me this past summer, and I was like, fell in love. Yeah. Delicious. But there's a certain one, it's like South Carolina, I think they make it. Or it's somewhere in the Carolinas, they make this, it's called palmetto cheese. That stuff is so good. Yeah. Oh my goodness. That is so good. Your perfect pizza is 3 cheese and pineapple. Yeah, they should just make all that milk into cheese instead of dumping the milk. That's true. Walgreens, Walmart, and IDEX. Okay. Well. True, don't worry, be happy. We got to do more exercise while we're staying at home. Everybody, I encourage you to throughout the day stand up when you're seeing David. Do a little exercise. You know, move your tummy a little bit, and maybe lift your legs up a little bit, and then you can do a little squats, or you just like pretend like you're sitting down, but don't even sit down. Or if you need your chair to sit down in, you can do that. But we really need to like move a little bit, you know.
And get some sunlight too.
David says get some sunlight
during the day
too.
Yeah, be sure to get like 15 minutes of sunlight.
Yeah, or if you does the grow light count?
Not really. Kind of, but
it has UV light in it.
Well, I mean, if this was an underground facility, yes, you're right.
Yeah. That's true. I would love to do an elliptical. I don't have one. I should have bought that elliptical that time, but...
You think we should do the broadcast from underneath the Denver airport, or should we do it from our show here? Or, I don't know.
I think we should do it right here. I'm not going anywhere.
Oh, okay.
I am staying right here. I'm not leaving my community.
That's nice.
Sorry.
We stay in our reachable community.
I love my job. I love my community.
I know.
I love David. I love my house.
Thank you.
You're
just happy to be here. I'm happy to be here too.
I'm super happy to be here.
I just don't want anything to change in my happy neighborhood. You know, just like Mr. Rogers didn't like to have his neighborhood changed. I like my neighborhood to be very special.
Yeah, I love Amber.
Amber, exactly. I love Amber.
I love the show because it feels like I have like a social life.
There you go.
I'm very like introverted to really. I do have a mask. I had so I had this concrete job I was doing before this whole COVID thing. So I had bought some N95 masks for the concrete job. So after the concrete job, I'm like, it's not really dirty. So I just kept that. How many people actually live in my neighborhood? Quite a few. I live in a suburban neighborhood. You can always see Bob Ross on YouTube.
You know, I think it'd be a good idea if we put all the cacti in the big pot, you know?
All the
cactuses.
Oh, cacti, yeah.
I think we could do that and put it right in the middle of the window there.
Yeah, for some reason I thought you said something about cats and tying them together.
Well, cactuses are...
I know they are cacti.
Cacti.
Yes. The white, with the white one?
Yeah, I think that would be look
that
nice.
Would be pretty.
I think I have an insert that goes in it, and it would still have a watering area. The water would at least be in there.
I know the feeling, don't worry, be happy. You're minimalizing your food intake, not because you want to diet, because now you're hoarding things. And you don't want to run out of food. So you're like, I'll just diet now, and yeah. I know. Oh, you know, there was this cute video I saw on Facebook. Shock. It was this cat, it was this dog, and it was like, once I was alone, I was so sad. Now you're home all day and I don't. This is something, and it was like, and it was a dog singing, "The pets will survive. The pets will thrive." Yeah. Yeah, that you saw it. That was so cute. I don't even think I heard it. I just like watched it. Like I didn't have the noise turned up. True tiddly-dee. Netflix sometimes is freezing still, even though I have good internet.
Yeah. So.
Oh, yes, since we're too close. Too close, David. I'm glad you're wearing your mask.
Well, I saw Vladimir Putin talking to the guy who's handling all the COVID patients in Moscow. And he was like talking 2 feet away, and they were like talking right at each other. And I was like, germ transfer.
Yeah.
Vladimir, you could be having germ transfer.
I just read a press release from Island County.
Yeah.
There are positive cases at Walgreens, Walmart.
Oh. Goodness, I'm so sorry.
And a non-public business as well.
Well, we'll be getting our cat food at the regular market at a higher price. So no more Walmart shopping for me and Walgreens.
Even though I do have to go to a pharmacy tomorrow.
Well, yeah, we'll talk about that later. We'll do that.
Or maybe Wednesday.
No, I think tomorrow's good. You could go to a pharmacy tomorrow.
Okay.
It's all possible. Yeah, so this new lifestyle sucks. It's hurting our economy. I don't agree with your theory that it is somehow lowering a curve. I believe that the Swedish model is much better. And as you can see...
Well, I think if Sweden has enough hospital beds to take care of their entire populace, that's a great thing. The problem is that our healthcare system is not robust enough to care for all the people in America that we need them to care for. Because, why? Because they have limits on how many people can become doctors in the United States of America.
Yeah.
Why? Who knows?
Who knows? Yeah, good point. That's a good point. Yeah, so we have to have a more robust social system. That's why the mobile medical unit is so great, because people can still social distance around the mobile medical units.
True. Good night, all.
Good night, Sarah. Thank you for helping and enjoy. I'll be in at 10, and I'll try to make a point of it. I want to watch that show with you.
Alrighty.
Oh, and I need the phone in here, I guess.
Alrighty. Even though the caller was blocked.
Oh, block caller, good. Thank you. All right, thank you so much, Sarah. Enjoy.
And
another 30 million. Yeah, basically he's saying everybody's gonna lose everything. Well, we'll find out about that tonight, but right now we're more concerned about our rights as Americans. So if you're no longer a Democrat because it's too liberal for you, welcome to America's Third Party. If you're no longer a Republican because it's too right-wing and conspiratorial, I can't help you. I bring all conspiracies into the show too, so you guys can hang out in our show. I just believe we have to solve key problems like healthcare and also homelessness, but more importantly the environment, because there's nothing more important than the foundation by which we live, and that's the air we breathe and the water that we drink. So if the Democrats, Republicans had done something in the past 50 years, I would say, oh yeah, they're doing a great job, but they aren't. They won't even take on the tough subjects that we take on every night in our show. And clearly, RFIDs, fiber optics, or rather RFID, 5G, vaccines, chemtrails. It's too bad that they don't take on these things, because it really has to be dealt with. We have to look at the safety of these things, and I don't want to keep belaboring the point, but I do anyway. Skype rolls out Meet Now calls that don't need a sign-up or installation. Wow, what a concept. Yeah, here we used to have Skype credits, right? And they just kept disappearing every time Skype was sold to somebody else, and eventually, I guess, Microsoft bought it. And I remember walking in 2010 to Interop and meeting the vice president of Skype Communications. And he actually said, oh, this 128-bit encryption is rock solid. Nobody can break into your phone. That same year, Thomas Drake was developing software that could easily listen to anybody's phone overseas. And when he found out that the government could listen to your phone too, he was very pissed. They nearly gave Thomas Drake 30 years in prison, an NSA whistleblower. But Skype has never been safe, and more importantly, people can see your IP address if you allow them on your contact list. Still, to this day. So it's totally dangerous, especially for kids. I can't even imagine Microsoft operating. I, as president, would tell them to redevelop the program before they even release it. But that's what leaders do. Our president is not a leader. A leader would tell everybody that your mail is unsafe to touch because they don't sanitize it with the kind of state-of-the-art stuff I was talking about, the hydrogen peroxide vaporizers. Nobody's talking about that in his administration. I'm leading on that issue. I've been leading on every issue for the past 12 years. Donald Trump just simply picked up what I had and then acted like it was his idea. Clearly, we don't need that anymore. Yes, Timmy, what can I do for you? Timmy, you don't make threats to me. You meet the wrath of God when you get near me, sir. Look into my bio. You have no idea how great I am. Read my bio. No one has ever stopped me in the field. I have no record at all of any danger to me. You try your luck. Your best operatives could not get near me. Hello, David. Zoom is bad is because it's Chinese. Skype is good because it's American. Just saying. Well, I don't use Zoom or Skype, dude. That's my point. Have you tried Facebook? That's American. That's Mark Zuckerberg. Coast Guard monitoring Wyoming beaches. Oh my God. Unreal. Wow.
April 4th, 2020. Sneaky military. Probably up to no good.
Where the hell are you, man? Where are the beaches? Where are the beaches? Where are the beaches? I want to see beaches in Wyoming. I thought that was the whole point of that. All right, that's Mike Decker. He's doing his best with his good camera trying to find out what exactly is going on. If you haven't heard this amazing song by Bob Dylan, I'll play it for you later. He sings this Murder Most Foul about the death of our great president. And you know, I didn't love him as a man loves another man. I'm not gay or anything. But I loved John F. Kennedy. I remember hearing him when I was a little boy, and he was so inspiring, you know. Ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country. My fellow Americans, I had my head blown off, but I'm back again to talk to the American people about the secret societies that are now taking over our nation. It became clear that I had to come back from the dead, so here I am. We lost some of our loved ones in Hyannisport recently. My brother Bobby's granddaughter and son died in a boating accident. Or did they? They didn't find their bodies. I say, find their bodies and then tell me they're dead. Oh, sorry. Great guy, though, John F. Kennedy. And he did lose his, yeah. Hey, Joe, you don't like Bostonians? What the hell, man? You live in New York. Of course you don't like Bostonians, but what's the problem? That's one of the things about New Yorkers. All they care about is New York. Go up to Boston and hang out with some good people. Oh, you can't. That's right. You're socially distancing and isolating. You can't even meet people from Boston. Good people in Boston. They are mostly drinkers, though, as you know. I mean, who wouldn't drink with the weather and the mosquitoes? Seriously. But no, I know a lot of good people in the Boston area. I do. Can you make sense out of this image? I can. There's a lot of things to make sense out of. One boy, and he died 3 times. Is that it? Wow. Connor Wilmot found something on the internet that went wrong. 2017. Connor. Not really sure what we're looking at here. Caught her at 13, believed to have been a part of the whale challenge, but becomes youngest boy in UK to die from COVID. Oh, wow. So the same guy has been in all these photos, and it's possible he's one of those actors. Whenever they want to fake a death, like a COVID-19 young 13-year-old boy death, they just pick an actor from Jill's collection. Yeah, Jill, I won't tell you her last name, but Jill runs the entire operation for the CIA. She's the person, the go-to person for photographs in the art department. They only had her on speed dial. Hello, Jill. We need a photograph of this guy who's supposed to be. Just send me the newest picture of the young man, and yeah. And then here, the internet determines where that is. Interesting. I was looking at a pretty powerful image earlier. Here it is. This isn't going to freak you out. Okay, you've been hearing about COVID-19 deaths, right? Well, guess what? All these people that are supposedly COVID-19 are going to be laid out for viewing. Yeah, look at this. Viewing that afternoon. So they died of COVID and they're going to be viewed. There's no space in the fridge. Air is on. Yeah. This is from a confidential view of somebody with supposedly COVID patients, but they're all going to be viewed. Okay, so how can they be viewed when they're toxic as hell? They died of COVID. What the hell? How can you lay people out who've died of COVID? Viewing Saturday and Sunday. Closed caskets. Yeah. No, open. I don't mean closed casket. That's open casket, man, on closed and casket. So how the hell are they going to show, what do they disinfect their bodies? I mean, come on. We're being lied to. We showed you the document yesterday, the day before, that was a direct document from the CDC, direct to their location, and it was telling mortuaries in every state to change all your deaths to COVID-19 deaths. A real document. We posted it. It's over in our Flipboard, over in coronavirus. And if you want to look at our Flipboard magazines, we got about 32 now in the Flipboard. I'll flip the Flipboard into your chat room. Thank you for the lemon. Sky rider at night, afternoon delight. We had a lot of people in Periscope early in the show, so it got a little boring earlier. I don't blame you. Many of you are, inclined to just move on and figure, well, you'll get so much better stuff on Google or on Twitter. I mean, no, where are you going to get Tom Hanks playing Orville Rickenbacker? I mean, come on. This guy's got to be the biggest Illuminati puppet on earth. This should be funny. The life of Orville Rickenbacker. I mean, I'm amazed, yeah. He's such a consummate actor. Well, of course, he has to work because he's a member of the Illuminati. And just like his son Chad, is it Chad, right? Or is it Chet? His son Chet, who admitted to being an Illuminati member. This is a rather awkward pose. Don't talk about my family. David, don't talk about my family. It's off limits. I said it's off limits. Sorry. Yeah, so we got a lot of things to talk about, obviously. The Illuminati, his son Chad, or is it Chet? Let's see, Chet Hanks. Chet, yeah. The guy that just said that he liked to eat the pineal glands of children on his Twitter message, who happens to have an image of the Illuminati on his tattooing. Yeah, that's shit, man. It's all good. It's all good. Chet, he's everything, man. And he's very, very, very proud son to be a member of the Illuminati. He's talked about the family up front, that his father's an Illuminati member. I mean, come on. They're hiding in plain sight. Pineal glands, yeah. He eats them. They said so. He actually said that. I'm not going to reiterate it because it's so disgusting. I'm dealing with bigger problems like the fact that we're going to be fried by the 5G network because they don't even want to test it. And nobody in the Democrat or Republican Party wants to contest that. Yeah, it's a small world when you have a monitor in front of you 14 hours a day, every day. And this call for global governance, what a crock of crap that is. The EU now claiming that global governance is needed to deal with the wrath of the corona. It's clearly necessary for us to have a new world order.
Your thoughts, you fucking jerk. Have a look at the fucking creep. Gordon Brown has urged world leaders to create a temporary form of global government to tackle the twin medical and economic crisis caused by the COVID-19 bullshit. The former Labor Prime Minister, who was at the centre of the international efforts to tackle the impact of the near meltdown of the bank.
Boy, that high-speed download. I mean, I'm almost got a gigabyte of download, and it's stable. It's not stable. I mean, what the hell?
In 2008 said there was a need for a task force involving world leaders, health experts, and the heads of the international organisations. In other words, all the fucking criminals that would have executive powers to coordinate the response. I won't go any further, but clearly we've got this piece of garbage.
Clearly, we've got this piece of garbage. Logan Williams has passed away, a 16-year-old actor who appeared in The Flash. And the young Barry Allen. Wow. The actor's mother, Marlise Williams, confirmed the news of her son's death. No cause of death was provided, though. Williams was said to have died suddenly on Thursday. That's the thing that bothers me about this, the death of coronavirus victims. We played a doctor earlier that said that none of them, except for a small percentage, 10%, are dying of pneumonia. Only 10% have pneumonia. So what is going on? And he said it's more akin, the death of these people from the coronavirus is more akin to people being dropped off a 30,000-foot mountain and losing oxygen. It just so happens that those same cause and effect occur with 5G RF poisoning, radio frequency poisoning. It can create flu-like symptoms. It can deplete your oxygen to your lung. It splits the oxygen atoms, the 5G does. We know that for a fact. Its ionic separation of the oxygen atoms create an environment where your body cannot process the oxygen. Our bodies can't process oxygen unless it comes as an O2. If it comes as an oxygen atom, it's not in any way going to be processed. In fact, it can cause aspirations in the lungs, which is also the exact thing that is happening to people that die of this disease. So the theory that I've been putting out over the past few years is that the New World Order is obviously taken over the two-party system. They are also controlling the Russian government and the Chinese government. And their primary goal now is to finish the tripod that they're developing, the three superpowers within their grasp. Our country is that final link that they need. But we have never really been awoken. The sleeping tiger has never been nudged poked with a stick until now. And now we have our direct assault on our First, Second, and Fourth Amendment rights, our right to free speech, our right to bear weapons, because the 5G could nullify our weapons. It can kill us way before we can get to a gun. And our Fourth Amendment, which is not to be our privacy jeopardized by a needle being shot into our skin. So there's never been a chance for the sleeping tiger of American strength to wake up and fight right back in their face. And we have that option right now. We are in a very serious moment in American history where we can either build this political movement or watch all of our rights completely and utterly disappear. It's a pretty heavy moment. It's a break point for humanity too, because we are the last thing that they need to finish the human race off. Who are they? They don't have a person behind it. They have master supercomputers behind it. The people behind the supercomputers, the Wizard of Oz, so to speak, are really pathetic old, super rich, inbred, brain-dead idiots who are so greedy they want to control the future of the earth. And they don't want you or me here. Building an ark. Did you hear that the COVID got into one of the top seed banks? I'm not going to name which one, but yeah, top seed bank has COVID-19 broken into it. Yeah, we'll see if that turns out. There's a tiger at the New York City Bronx Zoo that tested positive for coronavirus. Yeah, so they've got that going for them. They can now cross, apparently this virus can cross breeds. It's so powerful. And a poor tiger is now battling this terrible disease. Now you notice I'm not like a lot of the hoaxers that says, oh, well, there's no disease, this is all hoax. Oh no, there's a serious disease. There is. It's all part of the big game plan they put together for humanity. It's a psyops. The whole purpose is to generate fear among the population, put you all in your house so you're frightened, and you are, as you should be. Then it's a new world order push for all these things. Chemtrails, 5G, vaccines. They're doing it right in front of our face, in our face. All these have had no safety testing, and they could be weaponized. That's something we cannot possibly ignore. That's huge. And then if they want to stick RFID chips in our body, that's a violation of our Fourth Amendment privacy rights. Another huge issue. So, being I care about the human race, I'm not going to sit back and just watch it be taken over. I'm going to do everything I can to help it survive. Being I'm one of you. So not only do I do a show 14 hours a day now, 7 days a week, I'm also giving you the option of learning about how to stay healthy and boost your immunity against any virus. Donald Trump is not helping you with that. The past couple days, I've gleaned from top doctors, microbiologists specifically, told me about the benefit of forskolin, calendula, birch bark extract, and licorice root, and thieves oil. Not to mention drinking plenty of pure water. Building your immunity. Now, eating well, eating your average meals every day, that's the best thing you can do, frankly. Hackers rule the world. Yeah. That's the thing. Hackers could do more damage with us, period. Especially if we have a smart world with it's all connected like they want to. Hackers could really hurt people. Anyway, sun, lots of sun, get about 15-20 minutes at least. Vitamin D created by the sun, vitamin A, vitamin C, zinc, garlic, ginger. And these odd herbs, forskolin, calendula, birch bark extract, licorice root, etc., etc. What these things are terpenoids and ligonoids, which are acting as protease inhibitors, which break up the ability of the SARS, particularly the SARS virus, from working. Now, I'm not saying take a lot of those things, just a little bit. Be very careful about what you take. Licorice root is probably one of the strongest anti-inflammatory and antibacterial things out there. But again, our government has kind of kept all that. The big pharma industry doesn't tell you about homeopathics. Boosting your immunity is the best way to prevent a cold or a flu, no matter what kind of flu you get. But I argue that this is 5G poisoning many people who are dying are experiencing because our oxygen is being starved with RF beam energy, radio frequency beam energy. And because the 5G network was never studied for safety, it is being used now as a weapon. Now that's a pretty serious accusation, but because there's no testing, I can make that accusation and safely run with it. It's not some fake news story. They haven't tested any of this RF frequency on the human species. 4G has shown to have problems with brain cancer when you hold the phone near your head. Even this used to be the Compander sound system when it first came out. And even if you hold that next to your head, that's a Wi-Fi signal, 2.4 gigahertz. That can go right into your head and cause a brain tumor. So don't even use that. Try to use the speakerphone. A couple times I'll pick it up just to hear who's calling. But nowadays I'm getting to the point where I'm going to handle these calls differently. I am wearing gloves outside. Yeah. I noticed too some strange anomalies that were happening with my skin. And I don't know if this is happening with you at all, but like right here in this area, I'm getting a little bit of redness. And it's not on the upper portion of my body. It's not up here. It's just like a little redness. It's like a prickly heat kind of thing, see? It's just weird. I've never had that before. And I was scratching it a couple days ago, and I was like, no, you can't do that. So I applied some lotion. But the same thing is happening around my ankles. So check your skin. Make sure you have a... You are scum. You will be burning in hell. Yeah, I just had to get rid of some guy. You don't mind if I send him to hell, do you?
People really need to know this. They need to know that there is no coming out of that place. And they need to know that on the day of judgment in the book of Revelations, God shall speak and death and hell shall come up in the universe. They don't go into heaven. That's in Revelation chapter 20.
Okay, we just took care of that guy. He's going to probably end up there very shortly. If some 5G towers are already active since a year, the people living around it are the volunteer guinea pigs. Here goes your human testing. Yeah. They've been doing a pretty good job with human testing for sure, Mork. Well, I think the people that dropped dead in Wuhan and why the numbers dropped considerably rapidly is because they literally can kill people at random with the 5G network. They ran a test. They killed 3,500 people in Wuhan that we know of. There may be 50,000 others that they buried and cremated and buried already. Yep, I don't care if 6G, 10G, 7G, 20G, 4G is barely safe enough for humans. That's the gauge that's safe. If I were to hold a cattle prod and on your hand and test it, see how long you could handle the heat without affecting your heart, and then said, you know, I can raise the energy level on that considerably. Does that make you feel any better? Because you're kind of telling me that, gee, 6G is coming on, 10G is coming on. Anything above 4G is dangerous, okay? You keep telling me 6G is already in the making. I mean, seriously. I have never done that, no. The chair makes noises. Yeah, you keep thinking it's the sound of a fart. When I go like that, you think that's a fart. You're such an idiot. Yeah, your brain is like mush. What kind of thought do you have right now? You're thinking about having potato chips? Or, no, I know, tater tots. They're in the freezer, right? Yeah, you're going to go in and get the freezer tater tots, yeah. No, you're in the tater tot land. We have already moved forward. Keep up with Joneses. China is using 6G. We have to keep up. No, we don't, good man. And you're not a good man. You're a bad man. You're a bad man. I'm going to send you to the cornfields. You want to go back? You just came back right after I sent you to the cornfields. I just sent you into hell. Well, frankly, your life right now is like hell. So what do you care? You know, I have not seen one scene where they're bringing out the bodies other than that stupid made-up fake scene we saw in New York the other day at a hospital that we found out later has hardly anybody there. It's not like the Holy Grail and Monty Python. Remember that? Bring out the dead. We don't see any of that, man. I mean, if Monty Python could make that realistic, you'd think that the crisis actors right now pretending that Corona dead are just coming out of the hospitals would get it right. That's Monty Python got it right in the movie. You've been asking me and a lot of other people. Molecular and Clinical Oncology 9, striking that 5G is deployed without previous scientific evaluation of health risks, not only cancer risks, but also other health risks such as fertility, cognitive and behavioral effects, oxidant stress, etc. Are you pulling that off of the Scientific American article, Monkey? Monkey see, monkey do. Are you pulling that off the Scientific American article or another one? If so, please link it. Dave, what is this? 4G was tested and it's been found to cause brain cancer, and you guys are going, huh? Well, why would they install 5G if it caused brain cancer? Trump's great. I love Trump. Okay. Since word is getting out, I can now confirm the infant in CT was accidentally suffocated by its caretaker, who then called the police. Wow, check this out, folks. We got another eyewitness testimony here. This is amazing. Candace Owen, at Real Candace Owen. Since word is getting out, I can now confirm that the infant in CT was accidentally suffocated by its caretaker, who then called the police. Governor Ned Lamont knew this and then lied to the world by linking it to the coronavirus because he wants more federal money. He should resign. Exactly, folks. We've got numerous instances of this where the government's just lying through their teeth. Let me bring up a couple of them for you. And let me remove the picture of the dead. Yeah, we got a lot of things that we have to discuss, obviously. We're not getting all the straight news from our completely mind-controlled world of mainstream media. I mean, if we have to rely on Birx and Fauci for our information, this woman, I have to remind you, ran Walter Reed into the ground with the worst possible health care on earth. And now she's the reason that our country is now shut down for no reason. No reason at all. No proof that any shutdown of an economy will help prevent a virus from spreading. There's absolutely no evidence that's true. The Swedish model, they keep people going and they go to restaurants, casinos, or whatever. I shouldn't say casinos. I don't know if they have gambling in Sweden. But let's look at a couple more of these things. Oh, and by the way, if you haven't heard, and I'll be the one to tell you since your government can't, alert, mail is not sanitized. So wear rubber gloves when handling mail and get a fan behind you or something when you're looking at it so it's blowing the other way. I'm serious. We saw that mailman earlier put his snot on his mail delivery. And another one the previous day was spitting on his mail delivery. Yeah. I don't believe it's a complete, hoax. I think it's 90% hoax and 10% bioweapon. Okay, we'll take that one off the screen, and let's look at these individually. Okay, this one right here, a 69-year-old retired Milwaukee police lieutenant died from COVID-19. But that's not what his son says. His son says, "My papa never died from this virus. And the media and the lying ass government is fraud. He had health issues way before this ever happened. They did not confirm with our family that he had that shit. And the media went cloud off his name. They won't clear his name, I guess. This is going too far. Coronavirus, count your effing days." Okay, let me read the next one for you. Pasco man surprised to see, whoa, infinite loop. Hold on, please. Pasco man surprised to see his death has been greatly exaggerated. Reports of his death have been greatly exaggerated. Gene De La Sala, equipped after Florida officials said he died from the coronavirus. He's not dead. Okay. I hear ya. And then this one, KSAT. Ashley Zara Farrell, I must say I'm highly disappointed at your lack of facts. My grandmother did not pass away at SAMMC. She passed away at a local inpatient hospital facility. She did not pass away from COVID-19. She passed away from Alzheimer's that she had suffered with the past 12 years and a case of aspiration pneumonia that worsened her ailing state. Shame on you, KSAT. See, folks, they've just been picking people that were in the morgue at the time as the people that they wanted to, put in front of our face. That's basically what they did. They're convincing us that we're dealing with a massive problem. We are dealing with a virus, no question about it, but they made it bigger because they want us all in our house right now. And it's a systematic grab against our First, Second, and Fourth Amendments, not to mention our right to assembly. So big questions are permeating in the world, this dark cloud that's surrounding our world right now. And Donald Trump has been lying about everything. There are no COVID test kits, there are only Q-tips. So bear in mind, this has got to stop. If it doesn't stop soon, we're in trouble, because obviously the longer our economy is shut down, the more dangerous it is. It has nothing to do with the flu. If you analyze the functionality of the formula of solving America's problems first, you will then help resolve problems around the world. Air filtration, water filtration, cleaning the rivers and the smokestacks. But pursuing this belief that vaccinating people is necessary is absurd. There's no proof that vaccines even work. It might be better if I was a computer, because then people would listen to me. Rewind. Beep. Okay. In United States law, depraved heart murder, also known as depraved indifference murder, is a type of murder where an individual acts with depraved indifference to human life and where such acts result in death despite the individual not explicitly intending to kill. Well, that definitely qualifies as eldercide. Depraved heart murder, that's eldercide right there, yeah. It has a lower threshold of what? Penalty? Ha! Well, if it's called manslaughter, it's eldercide. There's no way you can call it, no. They're putting pillows over these old people's heads, dude. Yeah, the thing about, this is interesting, that pops up all the time. What I find interesting is the center of this conspiracy that something's happening happens to be Switzerland. The people that are perpetrating this entire thing live in Switzerland. How do I know that? Well, they're the only ones that are vehemently trying to stop 5G from being imposed upon their citizens. Look at the Swiss. They're probably getting paid directly by the Rothschilds themselves. Oh, I would love for you to do a protest against the 5G. Oh, do tell them. Tell them to go out. We don't want 5G in our neighborhood. After all, we're using it to weaponize the world, allegedly. Thousands of Swiss protest 5G wireless over health fears. Yeah. Well, at least they're saying something. But it's very suspicious because the people that are probably behind this entire plan of the New World Order are living in the Switzerland dungeons. They reconverted the dungeons to modify them into apartments for many of the family members. You didn't know that the richest people in the world live in Switzerland? Oh yes, they do. The Swiss have been vigilant in their effort to rob you blind. They've been a parasite feeding on the developing world for decades. Switzerland, a parasite feeding on the developing world. Wow. Here it is, right in front of my very eyes. For more than a half century, the Alpine nation of Switzerland has built a reputation as the world's center for tax evasion, fraud accounting, money laundering, racketeering, and above all, a staunch ally of corrupt third world leaders and a great beneficiary of third world corruption. Various categories of persons, including popes, presidents, prime ministers, and corrupt dictators, wealthy businessmen, and the drug dealers, have all used and benefited from the banking secrecy laws of Switzerland. As a result, her economy has been described as an underground economy, as a deposit box for dirty money and a dirty-driven economy. So, the first place we're going to look for the scumbags that are trying to do this to the world, to push their new world order, will be Switzerland. That'll be number one on our list. Now, you get me to the presidency, and I will act with the authority of the presidency to root these scumbags out of their hellhole and get them to the front for trial. We will have a modern Nuremberg trial against these warlords and unreal, we're going to call them oligarchs, okay, for lack of a better word. And I know the impeachment trial failed because the Democrats don't have a spine. Had they merely talked about Mitch McConnell and Lindsey Graham being connected to the Russian oligarchs, I doubt Trump would even be our president right now. But they didn't have the balls to do that, the Democrats. But I assure you, I will not stop there. I will open up the entire Ukrainian investigation and Donald Trump's Russian connection. When we're done here, America will be back on track with a leader who represents the American people, not some moron who's so deep into debt and has a pee-pee tape out there. And you will know what brilliance is when you see me in action. Now, if you want to get me to the ballot, just write my name in. That's all you got to do. My name's David Sponheim. If I win enough write-in votes in this upcoming election, and you learn how to spell, I could easily win in court against whoever wins the Democrat or Republican ticket. All we need to do is apply the equal protection clauses guaranteed to every citizen in the United States. They can't keep me from being a write-in candidate in any one state. There's no way the 10th Amendment trumps our core individual freedoms. And equal protection of the law is one of our core individual freedoms. Okay, so on that note, I have to get in there and watch the new versions, the new episodes of Ozark. I love that show. Best thing going. Yeah, not much else tonight, right? Did you hear the statement from the maker of Wiki? Yeah, we played as a statement the other night. He's saying there's a heck of a lot of porn child porn going on the internet. Yeah, he said that we should be a lot more aware of it, and the government isn't doing enough to stop it. Now, the First Amendment's right to free speech is also coupled with our right to freely assemble. And right now, the Democrats are saying we can't even gather, even if we're social distancing, which is a tremendous assault against our First Amendment. They say that they can't have groups above 200. That's a total violation of the First Amendment. Theoretically, there is enough open space for all of us to gather and be 6 feet away from each other. So they're using this pandemic to drive our country from actually assembling and having a democracy. You realize that, right? And because we're not following the Swedish method, and we should be, we have essentially, the Swedish model is essentially keep business going, keep restaurants working, keep people going back, and I love it. The Swedish model is by far the best thing happening for their country, but we're not able to even see that. Our country is so blinded by this leftist vision that we can't get near each other. And is there any proof at all? Is there any proof at all that this is what's happening? That it's ever worked? Yeah, think about it. There's the Swedish model. Now, there's one of them. But no, seriously. Going to Thailand for a sex vacation, you may want to cancel. It's not a good thing. It's not good for your health. Think about it. And while you're thinking about it, get back to me on that, okay? All right, everybody, thank you for coming in. I'm already 1 minute late. I can't keep doing this for 14 hours a day forever, but we'll keep doing it as long as I can, okay? Eventually, I'm going to have to take a break, like a vacation. But I don't mind, because at least I give you guys a little time to chat and you share ideas. So we got a lot of things that you guys submitted. Perfect. Thank you for that. I've got that in the room. Haven't checked iBlog in a while. If assembling in large groups is a good thing, why are you hiding the house, Dave? Well, give me my air mask and I'll go assemble in a group. And of course, bulletproof equipment and a battery of about 15 men to guard me. Sure, I'll be glad to go assemble in a room if I could do that. Yeah. That'd be great. I'm not afraid of assembling with a group of people as long as I have adequate security. I mean, DLive, how are you guys? Everyone should stand up for this everywhere. 3M more. You want more 3M masks? Okay, man. Koala Island just donated 1 lemon. Thank you, man. And thank you guys for coming to our show. We got new viewers at DLive. As you know, I do a show every night. I'm the longest broadcast on the internet. A regular show. I haven't missed a single night in 12 years. If you remember, I've been doing this since 2008, running against Barack Obama, and I will continue to do it. I found out that they were trying to censor me. Biggest mistake they ever made, trying to censor me. You can't censor a force as strong as mine. My will and my indomitable spirit keeps going no matter what. Now, I want all of you to realize that this has been an ongoing process, not just for 12 years, but for 150 years. Third parties have been striving to stop the takeover of our nation. And I think this could be our magic year. So hang in there with me.
Hi, good morning.
Take care.
As you can see, I'm still
Bye.
wearing the shirt I wore last night and yesterday at Blog TV. It's exhilarating to do Blog TV. We've been having an incredible time. This is, in fact, day 54. I thought yesterday was day 54, but we did a recount, and we determined that today is day 54 as we approach the election. And as your potential write-in candidate, David John Sponheim, I'm here to show you my hybrid electric vehicle. It's not a plug-in hybrid. That's something I want to build at the U.S. Auto Corporation that I want you, the people, to own. Check out this vehicle. Isn't that a beautiful car? Everywhere we go, this one of us. Give it about 60 miles per hour. A little bit tough on the bump because the tires are high pressure. Just to make sure that it goes
Cause you make me melt away. You're my Mr. Right, my Mr. Right, too good to be true. You spin my world around, cause you're the peace I find. If you sweep me off my feet, my heart stops to beat. Cause you make me melt away. You're my Mr. Right, my Mr. Right, too good to be true.